Hi everyone, welcome back to Rays of Tarot and welcome if you are new. My name is Stella and in today's really exciting pick a pile reading, we are going to basically channel your bestie's higher self and ask them, what do you need to know? What do you need to hear at this time in your life? These are timeless readings, so they will be good for whenever you find them. What do you need to know about love and life? Now, what else do you need in life? Nothing. That's all you need. I'm joking, obviously. But I filmed these piles already, and there's a little disclaimer. So the energy that was coming through very, very strongly was just a lot of feminine energy. So that's probably because, as I always say, statistically speaking, the vast majority of people watching these big card readings are females. And I figured that in this reading, there was so much feminine energy coming through that also most people watching this will have like a female bestie. Now, I'm saying this because I did say she and her often in these piles. And that's just because, like, I tried to keep it gender neutral, but it was really hard in this reading, or in this video specifically, because there was so much feminine energy, okay? So you can still resonate with all these messages and all these piles if you're not a female, or if your bestie is not a female. Could be he, could be a they, doesn't matter. Just be aware that I tried my best, but unfortunately I failed a little bit here and there to keep it gender neutral. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that real quick. Now, what do we mean exactly with your bestie's higher self? So the higher self is essentially, or like what I personally channel and mean with higher self, is the version of self, the version of a person that is basically the most aligned with their heart's truth, with their soul's mission, with their soul's truth, basically. So the version of self that is also not limited or not affected by fears, by anxieties, by self-limiting beliefs and self-limiting thoughts. It's basically the version of self that acts and talks and just exists in the higher outcome and higher, most unconditionally loving outcome for everyone involved, essentially, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, for the piles, today we have 3 piles. On pile number 1, we do have the Field Tarot with this beautiful clear quartz. Then for pile 2, we have the Modern Witch Tarot with this blue Jamaican calcite tower. Please focus. And then for pile number 3, we have the White Sage Tarot with this Brews Jade tower. So that's it for the piles. The energies were quite similar, so it wouldn't be surprising at all, especially for this reading, if you guys were called to multiple or even all the piles. Definitely only follow your intuition and see which one you're called to the most. And yeah, disclaimers as per usual, always down below in the description. You should always be able to use your own discernment with these readings. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in your pile. Hi, pile 1, if you chose the Field Tarot as well as this beautiful little clear quartz point crystal. This is going to be a reading, and oh my god, I'm so excited to dive into this. The energies already while I was pulling the oracles were so exciting. So this is going to be all about what messages does your bestie's higher self have for you about love and life in general. So there is a full explanation in the intro with what I mean exactly with this. Also, little disclaimer, I do feel strongly feminine energies coming through all these piles, so I will try my best to keep it gender neutral, say them and this person, but honestly, I'm quite sure that it will. And my cat is about to jump on the table. Yes, hi. I probably will say she or her sometimes. Just bear with me. Like, you don't have to be a woman, or your best friend doesn't have to be a woman to resonate with these messages at all. Just be aware that those are the energies that are coming through, and Phoebe wanted to say hi as well. But yes, what we're going to do first is, yeah, you're probably gonna need to, there you go. What we're going to do first is we are going to look a little bit into these pre-shuffled oracles as a little bit of an energy check, so you can understand whether this is your pile or not. So these stack of oracles are going to represent your bestie's higher self's energy. So you should definitely recognize her energy or their energy on this side, and this stack of oracles on this side is going to represent how your bestie's higher self view you. So this will all be from your bestie's higher self perspective. And again, just a little bit of a reminder that your bestie's higher self is essentially just the most unconditionally loving version of themselves, and the version of themselves that lives with integrity and lives by high moral values, if that makes sense. So that lives through their heart and through genuine and authentic love and expression, if that makes sense. Okay, so first, let's dive straight into it. Your bestie's higher self is coming through as the Black Jaguar with Old Soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. Then we have the element of fire with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. There's a bunch of candle wax on my table because I spilled some yesterday, so I hope you can't see it. And if you do, I hope that you're not bothered by it. We also have the number 4 with the West and completion. This is the element of earth. And then we also have I honor virtue for your bestie's higher self energy. Now, for how your bestie's higher self views you, we have the animal with number 19 or 10 in numerology. We also have number 11 with belief. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. Then we also have number 57, which reduces to a cat hair, which reduces to, you guys might share a passion for cats. I mean, we do have a big cat here coming through. And Feep wanted to say hi during this pile. Number 57 reduces to 12 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, in numerology with twin. And last but not least, we have dioptase and larkspur, past life healing. Should be the elements of water and air. Not entirely sure. Letting go of anger and forgiveness. So pile 1, this is so beautiful. I love this so much. So let me start by saying that, okay, so the zodiac signs that are coming through are earth and fire for your bestie's higher self. It doesn't have to be astrologically relevant, but they're coming through with, yeah, earth and fire. So Aries, Leo, Sag, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we also have the twin, which obviously reminds of Gemini. So those could be relevant placements, doesn't have to be. But let me start by saying that your bestie's higher self is a bad bee. Like, they're fierce. There's a fierceness. And if I would have to compare you to like the queens in the tarot, you would be the Queen of Cups and your bestie would be the Queen of Wands. Again, you don't have to be a fire and a water sign, but there's definitely something about this person, like your bestie, being super fiery, super fierce and passionate, and super expressive and protective over you as well. And something being very, very sweet and soft and gentle to your energy. It wouldn't surprise me if you were a little bit more on the shy side, or just a little bit of a softer, gentle type of soul, and your bestie was a little bit more like expressive and giving 0 Fs and just speaking what's on their mind all the time, and just being very fierce and powerful, just really, really powerful. And this is also kind of the energy that they're coming in through with when it comes to you. So like, they might be the type of bestie that kind of like hypes you up, that sometimes it wouldn't surprise me if this person's love language was words of affirmation, and you would be more on the, and I'm not even saying that they might tell you that they love you a lot, or that they like beautiful a lot or something like that, but they might just be very encouraging of you, and very like, they might love hyping you up, and just, I'm getting kind of this fierce protective vibe, in the sense of that they might come at you with advice like, look at how awesome you are, like never forget how awesome you're, like how could you even think that you're not worthy of what you want, because you're so freaking awesome, and look at how far you've come. Basically just like really grounded and straightforward, like, bestie, wake up, like you're awesome, like you're sleeping on yourself. Like, this is the kind of vibe that your bestie is coming through with. There's also definitely something about them wanting you to stay true to yourself and kind of like not downplay your value. They really want you to feel confident. Like they really, 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 really want you to feel confident. Because you might be a little bit insecure, because that's definitely something that's coming through very strongly. They really want you to see your value. They also they might encourage you to not leave things half finished. Like they might encourage you to go through with things. If you, for instance, have some doubts, or like some you might be questioning yourself, like, oh, should I do this? Or like, should I talk to that person? Should I tell them this? Or like, should I do it in a different way? Like, this is the type of bestie, the type of friend that will tell you, bitch, like, they might use a lot of swear words, because I really feel, oh God, what is the name? I don't watch Euphoria, but I'm getting... It's not the blonde girl, but it's the actress with like darker hair and these like very fierce, very, very intense eyes. I believe she has like, the actress actually has like a Venus in Scorpio. So she might also definitely have some Scorpio vibes, your bestie. I don't know the names of the Euphoria cast, but I'm seeing her. I hope you can... The one that says like, bitch, please, or something like that. I don't know. The one that says bitch constantly. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this bestie. So they might definitely be not the most like physically affectionate or like the most like mushy gushy, whereas you might be a little bit more on the sweeter side in that sense. And this bestie is more like, girl, come on, like, you're awesome. Just like stop downplaying yourself, stop playing small, stop being a little bitch, but like in a very loving way. Like this best friend definitely comes at you with like very tough love type of energy. And they respect you a lot. I feel it. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, you guys are soulmates. Like there is this knowledge between the two of you, like you're soulmates. Like this is definitely like old souls, both old souls. You both might have some type of like psychic abilities. You might bond over those things, but there's definitely a depth to this connection. You guys might go really, really deep in conversations and really, really deep in like growth together, deeper than with most people. This is a very, very strong soul type of bond. There's definitely this feeling also like with this Black Jaguar old soul card and the twin card coming through on both sides. There's definitely this feeling of, I've seen you in a past life. Like we know each other on a very, very deep level. On a deep level that is, it's basically like soul deep. There is this security and this, I just heard the word compatibility, so you guys might just have a very, very, very easy flowing connection, and then you just get each other. You don't even have to like over-explain yourselves. But I want to say there is the space to over-explain yourselves. Like with this type of connection, there is room for making mistakes. There is room for being flawed, and you're still supported. This is definitely a very, very supportive type of friend. And with this Black Jaguar kind of like looking behind, like looking back, like look at this, how this, you guys are both wild AF, by the way, like wild souls. I'm seeing you kind of like talking or doing things together that you might look at each other and kind of giggle and be like, if other people saw us doing this, or if other people knew what we're talking about, if other people knew the shit that we do together, they would think that we're not. So like they would really be judgmental or something like that. Feep really wants to come say hi today. There is something about this Black Jaguar card in which they're kind of like looking behind them. So this friend is definitely always keeping an eye out for you. Like if you might be going silent on social media for a little while, this friend will notice. And probably just like vice versa. Like you guys definitely have like an eye on each other, and you got each other's backs. This is such a beautiful, powerful type of friendship. I'm hearing sisterhood. This is not like a normal type of friendship. And there is something like moving on to how this person's higher self views you. Again, they know that you're a soulmate, that you're more of a sister than a friend. They also see you as this really, really soft, beautiful, sensitive type of soul. And they also really see, Phoebe, stop. This is not a good moment to ask for cuddles. No, stop. You know what? Go outside. Bye. This person really, really sees you as someone who is kind of like holding back a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if your bestie would have a much easier time expressing their emotions. Both of you are very, very sensitive, by the way, but there's a difference. in how you express your emotions. I feel like there's a suppressed expressivity to you, or at least from the perspective of your bestie's higher self. There's something about you being so soft and kind of like not wanting to disrupt the status quo, not wanting to upset other people. You might be the type of person that says sorry a lot, like, oh, I'm so sorry for like texting you at this hour, but hey, do you have me? You're just very cautious. And it's like, this bestie really wants you to break free and to be a little bit wilder and to honor your emotions and to honor your truth. Like, they want you to be louder. They want you to loosen up your hair and get a little bit wilder. Whether that is like physically, whether they literally just like want you to like go party with them or go on adventures with them or something like that. But they also just truly, like, on a soul and heart and mental level, they want you to break free from your bounds. Like, they really see how much you're holding back. And this is not to like blame you at all. This is coming through a very, very loving way. I mean, this is from their higher self perspective. So this is definitely from like a higher, unconditionally loving type of energy. But they really see that you have been just really holding back, truthfully, and kind of like that there is this fiery power inside of you that is waiting to come out and be unleashed. And like, they see that you're so freaking beautiful. This is definitely the type of friend that will tell you, like, don't dim your light, don't stop, like, shine bright. You're freaking sun, and you're portraying yourself as if you were this kind of like little firefly. Like, you have such brightness. I'm hearing like, come on, girl. They really want you to be, perhaps there's something about, I'm seeing something about this friend really want you to be more expressive also in the way that you dress. Perhaps you might have tendencies to be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more plain, if that makes sense. And they want you to be more daring. Like, the role that this friend has in your life is kind of like that of encouraging you to be more expressive, to be more bold, to be more daring, to be more out there, if that makes sense. And to unleash, perhaps, like, they don't want you to suppress your emotions. That's also the thing. There's something about anger and something about this fiery energy. For sure, you're becoming more, or like, you're invited by this friend being present in your life. You're being invited to become more comfortable and become more, like, owning up more to your fiery energy. So like your passions, and like going for what you want and expressing your boundaries. And I'm hearing like, you deserve better. You deserve better. So it might definitely be the case that, yeah, again, I've said this before, but like that you're keeping yourself small, that you're playing small or something like that, and your bestie really wants you to just to shine bright like a freaking diamond, like the freaking star and the sun that you are. And they want you to show your gifts and talents. Like, they really feel like you're not showing your true self all of the time. So like, they're really encouraging you to just show your beautiful self, to give more of yourself, because yourself is a gift, because you have so much beauty to share with the world. And the beauty that you have to share with the world is essentially just you. Like, you're such a beautiful, bright, powerful light, and they just want you to just unleash that and to just, I'm seeing like this beautiful, bright light coming through from like the heart and throat chakra. So they might be encouraging you to, yeah, obviously that makes a lot of sense, to express and voice your emotions more. And to not think so much about what people think. Like, I'm hearing this, they might have strong Aries placements as well. It doesn't have to be, but there's something about them being like, F what people think. And obviously I'm censoring the F word because we're on YouTube. But they probably don't censor. I'm getting like Aries Mercury vibes. Aries rising perhaps, doesn't have to be at all. But there's definitely something about this person. This person is very, very smart, and they see that you're very, very smart. There's something about like intelligence. You guys vibe on such a deep level. Like, you guys get each other, and that's also this past vibe. Like, it might very well be the case that you guys like met each other, and suddenly there was this instant connection of like, oh yeah, I see you, and damn, like, I want this. You already knew immediately that you were besties. Essentially, there's this deep resonance within each other. Let me see if there's anything else, or if we have to move on. There's something about this connection and this bestie in your life, this friend in your life, that is helping you complete karmic cycles. Like this person is definitely someone that you can talk to about your traumas and your past experiences, and they really help you work through them. Like you really talk. It's like this freedom and safety to talk about everything and anything with each other. And this person really wants, like there's this desire of like, of course we can talk about it, like let's talk about it, let's fucking go, let's get through this. So there's definitely this safety of showing all parts of you. And I'm also getting the vibe that you definitely showed this person, you show this friend, this bestie, a lot of parts of you that you don't usually show the rest of the world. And that's also why this friend is in your life, to tell you like, girl, like this is awesome, like stop hiding, unleash and get wild, and show yourself, because yourself deserves to be seen. There's definitely something about eyes, and seeing. You guys might talk through the phone a lot, or like talk through, if you're long distance with this bestie, which I mean, I relate because two of my besties both live in another country, so it's tough out here. Sending hugs. There's only something about, perhaps it will not resonate for everyone. I forgot to mention something at the beginning. I think I will say it in a bit, like at the end, and then paste it at the start or something like that, because it's important information for the start. Anyways, there's something about you guys possibly just looking at each other and talking to each other like on FaceTime or like through video call or something like that. But yeah, this is definitely like a sisterhood type of vibe. There's definitely something about doing deep psychological and emotional healing together, and that this friend is helping you with, both consciously and subconsciously. Like this friend is in your life also for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of owning up to your emotions and owning up to your truth. You guys might be teaching each other how to be, that's not per se the words that I would use, but you definitely, from being in each other's lives, you guys are becoming better people. Like this is definitely a life transforming type of connection for sure. I feel like there's some more stuff. What is it, Spirit? What else about this connection? I feel like I need to sit with this for a little bit more, and otherwise I'll just keep going. Yes, overall, between the two of you, there's definitely this balance between, this balance that you guys are like kind of feeding into each other and kind of like complementing into each other's energies, at least for how this bestie's higher self is viewing the connection. And you guys are learning how to, like, you're learning together how to exist in soft and fierce energies at the same time. So like how to stay true to your heart, but also honor your boundaries, how to stay true to your heart, and how to learn and forgive, and how to be soft, and how to be sweet, and how to be gentle and caring and compassionate, possibly towards each other. But I'm getting more about like people on the outside of this connection, and Feet wants to come back inside. But at the same time, being fierce and really protective over yourselves, like not letting people walk all over you, not accepting things that you shouldn't be accepting, not accepting the bare minimum, not accepting like breadcrumbs from anyone. You guys are also setting the bar really, really high for each other when it comes to friendships. There's definitely something about like, damn, like this is high level friendship, let me tell you that. But okay, let's just move on to the tarot. Okay, so what we are going to do now, I'm going to put these to the side. We're going to pull the tarot in a bit. I'm going to pull some oracles on camera for two different... Feet, stop! My cat is really... Oh god. There's a window open in the other room. Jesus. So I'm going to pull some oracles on camera, as well as the tarot for different areas, which is honestly just like two different parts. So like life and love. So this is definitely possibly some information coming through about either like specific people or just romantic partners, romantic situations in general. We will see whatever needs to come through, but let me first pull some oracles. Oh god, so I had to go open up the door and leave the door open because otherwise my cat is going to like jump on the table every 3 seconds. So first we're going to start with some oracles about what is it that Pile 1's bestie's higher self wants to tell Pile 1 about their love life, please. Some advice. That Pile 1's, okay, so one card. Then we have this little deck, which all my decks are always linked down below, not linked, listed down below. This is probably, I think it's called something along the Soul's Journey Life Lesson card, something like that. It's down below. What is the message that Pile 1's bestie's higher self has for Pile 1 when it comes to love? A lot of things, okay. Yeah, I was definitely getting, there's probably a lot that has to do with like, I just heard boys. You don't have to be like heterosexual. You don't have to be a heterosexual woman to resonate to this reading, but definitely do keep in mind that a lot of these readings are watched by females who are inquiring about males, if you will. So the messages also come through a lot of the time like that. What is another message that... All right. Do I have to take another one? I feel like I have to take another one. What is the message that Pile 1's bestie's higher self has for Pile 1 when it comes to love? There you go. So, I mean, this one was already. So let's see. We have connection. We have worry. Okay, it was in reverse. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. We're just going to put it like that because, you know, that's the message. Wayne and Gibbous, count your blessings. And we have sign. If you're looking for a sign, here it is. All right, now let's pull some tarot. From Pile 1's bestie's higher self. What about this connection? What is a message? Damn. All right. We have the Queen of Cups with intuition. I feel like I have to take 2 for this one. What else? Oh my god. You have to take these? Yeah. I guess I'll just gonna take them all. So we have the Ace of Wands with energy and the 4 of Cups with meditation. What about this worry card? What is the message that Pile 1's bestie's higher self has for Pile 1 when it comes to love? What about this worry card? There's definitely something about hesitation. We have strength. Wow. Okay, what about this Wayne and Gibbous count your blessings card when it comes to... Do you have to take it? I'm just gonna put that back. Okay, so what about this Wayne and Gibbous card? Please, for Pile 1. Damn. Your bestie's higher self. Ooh, okay, so we have the Empress in reverse and the Sun coming through. What about this sign? If you're looking for a sign, here it is. Yeah, this bestie of yours, they're very, very fierce and they want you to succeed. They really, really want you to win. And they see that you can win. It's just like you don't often see it even yourself that you can win. And they really want you to see how awesome you are. That's a main thing coming through. For this sign, if you're looking for a sign, here it is. We have the 9 of Wands with resilience and the 9 of Cups with fulfillment. So if your bestie has been telling you like that something is about to happen or that something is, and we have, yeah, the 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. If your bestie has been telling you, like almost like a prophecy, it wouldn't surprise me if you both had like, again, some type of psychic abilities. Let me see if everything is on camera. Yes, perfect. If they have been telling you something is about to happen, something needs to change, something is about to change for you, or something is on the brink of, I'm hearing like a 21 Pilots song, Kitchen Sink. It's a cool song, but it might, if you haven't been listening to your bestie about this thing, like if you will know what I'm talking about if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, then it's not your message, but you probably need to listen to them. Because they know, they kind of, there's something that they have seen or that they know or that they've heard or something that is about to happen for you. And there might be this distrust of like, oh yeah, but what if? I feel like you have a lot of what ifs, or at least this person's like this bestie's higher self has. I can't. Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Having a trouble. See, I'm having trouble expressing myself today. Yes, and this is probably how your bestie sees you, as someone who really struggles to find their words, who really struggles to find the right, or like to put down your foot and really say what you mean. There you go. Your bestie wants you to say what you mean and just say it proud and loud. There's a lot of Leo energy. So we do have Queen of Cups, which is water energy. We do have Strength, which is Leo. We do have the Sun, which is Leo. The Empress, which is Taurus and Libra. Okay, but so what messages does your bestie have about love? So they are proud of you for how deeply empathetic you are. But also they recognize that your ability to empathize with others and being compassionate and being like taking into consideration other people's feelings before your own, they really recognize how that might block you and keep you stuck in some situations and kind of like not see. You might be a little bit too focused on other people's feelings. And that might actually be something that is blocking you from actually connecting to potential romantic partners, perhaps, because you might be needing to speak out more. You might be needing to be a little bit more direct. There's something about you pondering too much, like too much for your own good, not in the sense that you are too much and oh my god, like shine, like it's like this bestie really sees how you're blocking yourself by being overly considerate for others and not really also going for what you want. You might be enabling people in certain like negative patterns. You might be enabling people in staying small by also not speaking out. There's definitely something about this bestie wanting you to be more brave and put your best foot forward and just there's also something about just being authentic and vulnerable and just showing yourself entirely as you are. I'm not sure if I made it clear enough in the previous part of this reading, but there's definitely something about your bestie really just wanting you to like, you're good as you are. You don't need to polish yourself up. You don't need to do your hair 30 times before it looks good. Like you don't need to change yourself. Pile 1. That's the main message that your bestie wants you to know. You don't need yourself to change for the best outcomes. Like you just need to go for it. You just need to live more. You just need to say what you mean and do what you want to do and not hold yourself back so much. That's definitely a very, very strong message that is coming through. I do feel like deep down that your bestie kind of like feels sad for how much you're blocking yourself and you're blocking yourself from your own fulfillment and your own joy, because you are so deeply compassionate, so deeply empathetic for other people. You might definitely have a little bit of like a people-pleasing tendency, so that's also why you might have struggle expressing harsher emotions, or like struggle putting your foot down and expressing your boundaries because you don't want to offend anyone, things like that. They really just want you to follow your truth and follow your passion and just be straightforward. As soon as something arises, they really want you to say it and to own up to it and to be proud. They also want you to know that you're stronger than you think. Like they have seen you getting through harsh-ish, and they want you to know that you are so much stronger than you think, and that you're so freaking beautiful. Definitely you might have some, I mean, who doesn't, but you might, your bestie thinks that you're so incredibly beautiful and gorgeous, and they love your style and they wish that you would own up to it more. They just want you to be louder and prouder, all this Leo energy, like, just live up to it, like you're awesome. And they definitely do see that you overthink yourself a little bit into oblivion. You overthink yourself to death, basically. To which you're kind of like losing sight of yourself, like, because they know that they see you have potential and they have seen you live up to that potential, but it's like you don't dare to living up to this potential all the time. It's like you feel so safe with this bestie that you show them all of you, and you have shared with them like all your processes and all the growth and the change that you've made, but you kind of don't allow yourself to be like that, to be this level of authentic with your potential romantic partners, for instance, because this is about love. And they really feel almost sorry for the world that they don't get to see you, because they do know how much value and how much light you have to bring into the world. But I also feel like you're playing against yourself by not showing yourself, because your true authentic self is so freaking awesome, and you're showing so much less than what you're truly capable of and than what you're truly worth. So it's almost like your romantic partners, or like your partner, or like whoever it is, like your crush, whoever it is that you're currently involved with. It's almost like your bestie sees how this person is not even able to see you entirely because you're not showing yourself entirely. Because you're worried, like, what if they don't like me? What if I'm being too much? What if they run away? And your bestie's saying, let them. If they don't want you, let them. There's so much light and beauty that this bestie sees in you. And they're right. I mean, they're not making it up. Like, they've seen you. Like, this is someone who sees you deeply and clearly. They definitely, with this Waning Gibbous, Count Your Blessings, the Empress in Reverse, and the Sun, they really just want you to focus more on your qualities and on your, because you might be a little bit too worried, like you might catastrophize things in your head, definitely with this worry and everything that I just talked about these cards, the Connection and Queen of Cups and Four of Cups and Ace of Wands. They definitely feel like you are a little bit too focused, and you might be a little bit too hard on yourself. Like you might always think the worst of all of your qualities. Like, yes, you might recognize how bright your light is, but you might be worried that it is too bright. Like, what if people don't like you being too bright? Or like if you have big desires with someone, and if you have great intentions, and if you feel passionately about someone, like what if it's too much? Like you're always worrying and second guessing your value. And your bestie really is not a supporter of that. They're not a fan. They really want you to shine your light. They want you to shine your freaking light, and they want you to show your value. There's definitely something about showing yourself, and really kind of like, they might have encouraged you to do some practices like looking at yourself in the mirror naked, or like dancing and just enjoying your own body and kind of like rejoicing and or like taking beautiful selfies or something like that. Or they might just love taking pictures of you and show you how beautiful you are. Like they might be like, oh, if you could see yourself through my eyes, you would love yourself so freaking much. And oh my god, there's definitely a fierce passion that this bestie has for you. And it's so wholesome. I love that so much. They really want you to focus on your positive aspects, and not to like, obviously we're all flawed, but this person really sees that you're overly focused on all the things that could go wrong in love, that could make you be disliked. You're kind of like negatively focusing, and that's a result of anxiety and a fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, which is very fair. But it's almost like you're taking it to such an extent in which you're hiding and you're keeping yourself stuck. And again, you're not showing yourself. So it's almost like this person sees how you might be keeping things surface level, and again, just playing small with potential partners and with people. And I keep hearing like, you deserve better, but you're not. It's almost like you're not allowing yourself to have better, because you are kind of like saying okay to breadcrumbs and saying okay to, like, you're accepting, you know, that quote, like, we accept the love that we think we deserve, from, I think it's from the book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It might be significant. But definitely this bestie is aware of the fact that you're just accepting things that aren't the freaking best, and you deserve the freaking best. And with this last stack of cards with sign, if you're looking for a sign, here it is. Definitely there might be a lot of synchronicities going on with you guys, but there's definitely something that this friend has told you that you're kind of sleeping on. Like they might have given you a piece of advice, like whatever it is. This is so vague because it's going to be so different for everyone. It's also very specific. Like it doesn't have to resonate for everyone. If you know, you know. If this is something, if something came to mind, then yes, that's your message, take it. But if you're like, what are you talking about, then this is probably not your message, and that's fine. But there's definitely something that your bestie has told you that you have to do, or that you need to change, and not because you're not good enough, but change because you're keeping yourself stuck and keeping yourself trapped and keeping yourself small and not giving yourself what you deserve. Yes, so there's definitely this message about like, listen to that piece of advice that your bestie has been giving you over and over and over again, because there's some very, very valuable information in there. King of Swords, authority. Yeah, there's definitely something about speak more, like speak up. hearing that reel or like TikTok, like speak up. Your bestie wants you to speak up, for sure. Let me put these here so we have a little bit more spice. Let me see if we're still rolling. Yes, I just saw 15:33 on the thingy. So whatever on the timer. And about life in general, about Pile 1's life endeavors. What is it that their bestie's higher self wants them to know or hear? A lot of things. Should I take, I'm just gonna take the first one that came out. Influence. And then we have one more of these. I don't really take these cards in reverse unless I feel like it's significant. Also, I usually don't shuffle them in reverse, but sometimes it happens. So what about life and life endeavors? Some life tips, wisdom. Ooh, there you go. I surrender. I can release the need to control. This is not very satisfying. Let me just put everything. I need to see it though. Although, yeah, okay, there you go. All right. Wow, yeah, of course. We have Lilith, reclaim your power. And on the bottom of the deck, we have last quarter. What is holding you back? Exactly. So this friend is definitely challenging you to look at your own blockages and how you are being not so loving towards yourself and being not so, there's definitely a lot about self-love. They really want you to love yourself, Pile 1. That's so awesome. Because we love a friendship that encourages self-love. So what about this influence for Pile 1? What about this influence, please? What is it that Pile 1's bestie wants them to know about life? White doves might be significant. We have the 3 of Cups, friendship. Yes, so they want you to know that you have so much to give and that you have so much value to share with the world, and that you should not keep yourself stuck in your home because you're way too awesome to be closed up in yourself. Like, there's so much value and so much potential and so much beauty that you keep almost, it's almost like it's almost offensive to the rest of the world that you're keeping yourself so silent and so small, because you have so much value to offer and you're like withholding all this awesomeness from the world. Like, you're withholding wisdom, you're withholding love, you're withholding wittiness, you're withholding knowledge, you're withholding so much light from people. And like they it's almost like they want to show you off. They want to be like, look at how awesome Pile 1 is. I feel like it's almost unfair, and like not in a judgmental and a blaming way, but like it's almost unfair. Like it's almost like this best friend is like, damn, I would be so mad if you would be holding back from me, because oh my god, I'm having so much love and so much wisdom and so much transformation through this connection, that imagine if I didn't have this. Like, it would be so unfair and such a disservice to me if you didn't show yourself. And this is such pure energy. Let me see. What about this surrender? Okay, so I feel like, do we have to take these all? I'm just going to look at all these because it feels relevant, but I'm not going to put them all on the table. We have the 3 of Swords with sorrow, temperance. We have the Ace of Swords with clarity, the Ace of Pentacles with wealth, and the 3 of Pentacles. So, what about this? Okay, I don't feel like I need to take one more. Leave it. Surrender. Yeah, they want you to be more embracing of your pain and to be kinder and have more patience with yourself through your pain and through your journey and through your struggles, because they have seen you go through them and transform them and alchemize them so often. And they want you to believe in yourself and believe in the ability that you have. There's also something about the color red and purple, because it's definitely two colors that are coming strongly through with these two cards. But there's definitely something about your bestie wanting you to not forget your human sides and like staying grounded with your feet on the ground and honoring your emotions and looking at your pain and looking at what it's teaching you and what it's telling you and showing you where you need to take care of yourself more and where you need to stand up for yourself more and where it is that you're kind of like withholding from yourself what it is that you truly want, but also not lose track of the bigger picture. It's like this root chakra and crown chakra type of energy. They really want you to not lose yourself in the spiritual woo-woo-ness, but also not lose yourself in the human BS. Does that make sense? And they also really want you to realize that it's okay to let go. It's almost like this anxiety that you're experiencing and this people-pleasing tendencies, it's almost like you have to have control and grip of your situations and life and things at all times. That you kind of try to it's almost like indeed, like you might not be recognizing, like you wouldn't identify yourself as someone who needs to control a lot of things, but that's kind of subconsciously what you're trying to do. And I mean, it's a very human, normal thing. We all try to control everything. Like everything that we do, not everything that we do, but there's big patterns of people always needing to control things. Why? Because control gives us a false sense of security. It's almost like you have this set idea of how things should be going and of what type of pain is allowed and what type of pain you're not. What word is it? Spirit, what is it? It's almost like you certain types of emotions and certain types of pain you are okay with feeling, but some other types of feelings and pain, it's almost like you don't allow yourself to feel because you almost feel like you don't have the right to feel like that, because you should be able to show up better and you should be able to show up in a higher energy. You should be able to show up in a more controlled way. And it's almost like you're expecting yourself to show up better than you are because how you are is not good enough for yourself. That's the message that is coming through with this. And your bestie wants you to know that you're okay exactly as you are, that you literally do not need to change anything, that you can just be authentic and be honest and real about your pain and about your because there's also a lot of wisdom and a lot of value. Like if you share more of your experiences, if you want to, you don't have to. Like you will know where you're at in your journey, but there's something about like sharing and owning up to your pain and to your sorrow that really also helps the world. There's something about you having so much to offer, and again, this is a message that keeps coming through again and again. You having so much to offer and you kind of like holding yourself back from also getting what you want and deserve because you are the first person who is kind of like putting the brakes on yourself. What about this Lilith, reclaim your power? So if you're not familiar with, owls might be significant. If you're not familiar with Lilith, I would highly recommend looking up the story. Lilith was Adam's first wife, first woman, and she refused to be subdued, to be a subject to him. She wanted equality, and when he wouldn't accept to have her as her equal, both sexually and as a partner, she just fled and she put a curse on humanity, essentially. That I'm not a great storyteller. I mean, I am for certain things, for these things, not really. But so definitely look it up if you're interested. There's something about lilacs and purple flowers for you guys, maybe, and chamomile. I'm seeing the flower echinacea. Echinacea? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. If you know what it is, it's probably for you. If you don't know what it is, then it's probably not for you. There's definitely something about your bestie wanting you to reclaim your power, quite literally. I feel like I've already spoken about that enough in this reading, so I don't want to... Yeah, We have the Three of Pentacles with works. They also want you to not limit yourself. Oh, wow. Holy shit. We have Three of Cups, Three of Swords, and Three of Pentacles. So 333 might be a relevant number for you guys. 333 and 99 as well. There's something about, I just heard accept that you're different and accept your differences, and also accept the different types of values that you have within yourself, that you don't need to be exactly on one line with yourself at all times. It's almost like this bestie has a lot of wisdom to share with you, for sure. I mean, this is their higher self coming through, so it's always like from a higher perspective. But there's definitely something about you not having to figure. It's okay to be in the journey of figuring things out, and you don't have to figure it out all the time. And it's also okay to ask for help with the Three of Pentacles. And it's okay to ask for help from people who don't see things exactly as you, from people who are a little different. And it's okay if you also like express different opinions. Like, you're allowed to express your different opinions. Even if, yeah, you definitely might be someone who is scared of conflict. Or, and I mean, that's a very fair thing to have, because that also comes from like trauma and childhood trauma and things like that. All that fun stuff, you know. They definitely want you to break down your boundaries, and not in the sense of like override your own boundaries. They definitely want you to have stronger boundaries, but I feel like your bestie's higher self, they really kind of see that you have to break through certain barriers of yours before you're able to even understand what your true boundaries are. Like, they also might be very encouraging of you to question your beliefs and question your standpoints, so that you can have different perspectives on them and understand your behaviors better. They really definitely like picking each other's brains together with you. That's something that they love doing. They feel like they can learn a lot from you, and they also hope that you can learn from them too. Now, let me see if I need to mention anything else, and otherwise we're going to go to some advice to close this off. They just want you to know that you're safe. That you're safe to express yourself. That you're safe in your pain. That every part of you is welcome. And that every part of you is inherently perfect with your flaws. That yes, girly pop, you're flawed. We're all human, but that's okay. It's not a negative thing. Like, of course, you're human. You're here to learn. You're here to figure it out, and we can figure it out together. That's a message from your bestie. But they also don't want you to be so hard on yourself. Like, you're such a softie, but at the same time, you're kind of like hard on yourself. And yes, I feel like that's it for now. So let's move on to some advice. So I'm gonna take one Moonology card, unless multiple come out. You never know on this channel. And then we're going to take the Rebel deck. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's fine. Yeah, you don't have to have things always like in control and perfect and organized. So like, if you're uncomfortable with this, why? Like, it's fine, pile one. So what advice do you have for pile one from their bestie's higher self? What is some last words of advice that pile one has to share? Pile one's bestie's higher self has to share with pile one, please. Advice for pile one from their bestie's higher self. Advice for pile one from... there you go. I'm having really loud ringing in my left ear already a few times in this pile. First quarter moon in Taurus, release control, and this should be the sacral chakra. So there's definitely something about releasing your emotions, and yeah, they want you to go wild a little more. Pile one. I almost say pile three. I don't know why. I haven't filmed that yet, so I have no idea what's going on there. But yes, let's take. I want to take three Rebel deck cards for pile one. What is it that I feel like your bestie would love this deck, because it's like very quirky and witty and unhinged. Get the F out of your head, get in your heart. Oh, get the F out of your head, get in your heart, it misses you. Yeah, your bestie is definitely encouraging you to stay true to your heart, to not lose sight of your heart. And also I'm getting, if there is someone who has been hurting you, like hurting your heart, or who has been making you unhappy, since I misread this, like get that F out of your head, it's like almost his bestie's like, girl, you don't have to be a girl. I feel like there's a lot of feminine energy. It's almost like your bestie saying like, bestie, forget about him. Like, just focus on you and take care of yourself, and everything else will fall into place. You don't need him, and you deserve better. That's the kind of vibe that is coming from your bestie. Oh, a lot of cards are popping back in. Okay. You are being shady. Watch out, ish could get ugly. Yeah, this is just, I feel like, just another invitation of being authentic, and watch out, ish could get ugly. It's like, just speak up now or you will face the consequences of something later. I don't know what that is about. If that's your message, you will know. Take it if it resonates. You are the best thing to ever happen to you. Go easy on your ass. Buy your own damn drink. Exactly. So don't wait on anyone. That's the message that's coming through. Don't wait on anyone, and take care of yourself. You're your best. You're your best You're your best partner. You're your best parent. You're your best friend. And whew, damn, pile 1. I think that's it. Sorry if it was a little chaotic. There's a lot of fiery energy in this pile. I really hope that this resonated. Definitely, as per usual, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know how this resonated for you, as it means everything to me to know how these piles resonated and how they land on the other side of the screen. Also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as that really helps with the algorithm. And thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi Pile 2, if you chose the Modern Witch Tarot as well as the Jamaican Blue Calcite Tower, this is going to be reading all about messages from your bestie's higher self about love and life. Now there is a more detailed explanation in the intro of this video, what I mean exactly with someone's higher self. But essentially what we're going to do first is we're going to do an energy check so you can understand whether this is your pile or not. You should definitely find your energy or your bestie's higher self's energy in this part. So this stack of cards on the left side of the table is going to indicate to us the energy of your bestie's higher self, and on this side with these oracles we are going to these ones are basically indicative of how your bestie's higher self sees you. So yeah, let's start. Without further ado, you should be able to recognize your bestie's higher self here. What I said also in pile 1, I feel strongly feminine energies coming through all these piles, so excuse me if I say she or her if it doesn't if those genders if that gender doesn't apply to your situation. I will try my best to keep it gender neutral and say them and your person or this person. But definitely do keep in mind that most of the energies that I'm being channeled here are basically feminine energies, so yeah, that's why. Without further ado, your bestie's higher self's energy is coming through as the dragon with supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Then we have Leo with self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. And then we have number 22 with air and motion. We also have I am peaceful. Now, for how your bestie's higher self sees you, we have 2 archetype cards. The first one is the Mother. And the second one is the Kiss. Let me put them like that for space efficiency reasons. Then, okay, let me just move this a little bit. Then, for how your bestie's higher self sees you, we have number 31 with cornucopia. We also have soul time, number 40. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. And last but not least, we have the mushroom magic communication card with, I believe it's air and earth. Yeah, it should be air and earth. Exploring new states of consciousness, untapped potential. So this is really cool energy, pile 2. With this Leo card being here, starting by the energy of your bestie's higher self, your bestie could very well have Leo placements. It doesn't have to be, but with this Leo card being here, it definitely gives me the vibes of, you know, that stereotype, or like that, that stereotype going on online about like the Leo girls in the club, drunk in the bathroom, just like hyping the other girls up. Like that is kind of the energy that I'm getting from your bestie. It's really awesome. This is definitely a very like encouraging type of person, someone who is very, 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 very wise. I might get the idea that, or I'm getting the idea that for you, this, like, your bestie comes across as someone who is so wise and who has so much wisdom to share, and that they are someone that you can learn a lot from. Definitely this bestie is someone who challenges your worldviews, that they kind of like, they might push you out of your comfort zone a little bit when it comes to beliefs. And also in terms of spirituality, perhaps your bestie is like, quote unquote, more spiritual than you, or like they might have had a little bit more of more experience with things like spirituality and spiritual practices, perhaps things like self-healing, grounding, spiritual practices, whatever that is that resonates for you. Because there's definitely this vibe of this person having kind of like a lot to teach, a lot to show you. With this mushroom magic card coming through, this will not resonate for everyone, so take it with a pinch of salt. But it wouldn't shock me if you were like introduced to plant medicine or like mushrooms by this friend, or like by kind of like being introduced to the environment in which this friend of yours, this bestie, usually like hangs around with, like the communities that they go to, like the places that they go to, the events that they attend, like the other people that they network with. Wouldn't surprise me if you got like introduced to plant medicine and all that fun stuff through this bestie of yours. So they are coming through strongly to me. It doesn't have to be astrologically relevant, but they are strongly coming through with like earth and air energies for sure. And they might definitely be like a very eloquent speaker, or definitely have a lot to say. This person might be older than you. It wouldn't surprise, like it could also very well be like either someone that you don't see that often, or that you don't speak to that often. I'm getting for some of you. This will not be for everyone, but for others of you, it wouldn't surprise me if this was like an actual big sister, or like a family member. It doesn't have to be. But there's definitely something about this person being like a mature, like a very mature, seasoned type of person when it comes to self-growth, and like asserting your boundaries, and like how to relate to other people, and like how to resolve conflict perhaps, or like how to move through difficulties and hardships. And this is definitely like a solution-oriented person. Like as soon as a problem arises, this person is like, all right, like what are we, this person is not focused like, oh my god, everything is going wrong, oh my god, this is so bad, and this is horrible. This is definitely someone who's like, all right, let's look at the solutions. Like, what can we do with this? Like, what can we create out of the situation? They definitely have a very like nice and reassuring type of energy to them. It wouldn't surprise me if they had also Aquarius placements. I mean, we do have air here, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and this dragon does give me, with this like shape-shifting type of thing that is going on in this card, like it says, you are the ancient wise sage, you can shape-shift at will, mastery is your destiny, rise with dignity, and air. I was saying this dragon card, I just lost my train of thoughts there. This dragon card, yeah, this person thinks a lot, but it's like they have a lot of control over their thoughts. And like, it's almost like this person really controls, like they have a very good grasp, or like a good grip on their emotions and on their thoughts a lot of the time. Obviously, everyone is like, we're all ebbing and flowing between like great times and lesser times and dark times and light times. So it's not just like, you know, this person probably also has their struggles, but overall, this is someone who definitely puts a lot of value in mastering themselves, and don't get necessarily like a lot of controlling themselves, but like consciously navigating themselves and the people around them, because this is definitely something that they're also teaching you, likely, that you guys talk a lot with each other about. I was saying this dragon card gives me Gemini and Aquarius vibes. Yes, there we go. yeah, this person might definitely also go into like a lot of tangents. I'm getting also Mercury Virgo right now. They might go into a lot of tangents and just like talk into very like a lot in depth or like with a lot of detail about certain things. So like if they're telling you about something, they will stop mid-sentence to go into a tangent that is very relevant and very, it's just like it's like a further explaining and just like thoroughly explaining what they mean when they talk about certain things. So like you have a very clear insight on what this person means or like what they're going through or what they want to achieve whenever it is that they speak, essentially. There's definitely something about speaking and expression, but there's also something mysterious about this person. It's like this is someone who's very like alternative. They're not like your plain Jane, let's put it that way. It wouldn't surprise me if sometimes they just like disappeared and nobody knew like what they were up to and kind of like resurfaced with a lot of new wisdom, a lot of new insights, like with new hobbies, with new things. Like there's definitely something about this person is constantly evolving. This person is constantly moving, like they can't be pinned down. I'm hearing like their spirit. There's something with horses. We do have horses here on this card. They might be into horses. It doesn't have to be, obviously. It will not resonate for everyone, but there's definitely something about they might be. Yeah, horses always give me like Aquarius vibes. Although they're obviously like an earth animal, but they're a lot about like strength and willpower and freedom and can't be tamed and being wild like at your core. There's something about this person being a lot into like going with the flow and letting things be, but also just like using the situations that they have at hand in the best way possible. Kind of like having this very, they're very interested. They show a lot of interest in life and things and in situations. It's almost like they see like whatever life throws at them, or like whatever life throws at you as their bestie, or like whatever life throws at their friends. They kind of like take it as like a puzzle or like something to solve, something like to crack the code of. This is definitely a very, very smart and deep and intelligent person. But in terms of how they see you, I'm getting the feeling with this case and the mother card coming through and this communication card, something that you guys might have been like, what is coming through very, very strongly is definitely something about like relationship, like romantic relationship. So that might be something that you guys have been talking a lot with each other about recently. It might be like a very big topic of conversation for you guys. And I'm getting that that's because you, as a human, like as an individual, you are definitely very like either family oriented, or like you want to build a family, or like you have a family and that's something that you are very much focused on, or you desire to have like a beautiful partnership with like your person, or like you desire to find your person, or you desire to, there's definitely something about this person not being so focused on like romantic relationships per se, but it's definitely like romantic relationships is definitely something that you value a lot as a person. And this is something that maybe you asked advice on to your bestie, and something that they have a lot of wisdom to share about. But in terms of how they see you, I'm hearing like you deserve so much. You deserve the world. And like this person is definitely someone who hypes you up a lot, and they kind of like remind you who you are and what you deserve, and how nurturing and how beautiful and how loving and how caring and how conscious you are when it comes to like either a partner or like friendships or just like other people. Like there's definitely something about you being very, very nurturing and very sweet and very soft. It's kind of like I just sort of like I see you, like they really see the depth and the genuine love that you have to offer and to share, specifically with a partner. But there's also this kind of like this compassion towards you. And I'm getting the vibe that from you, for how they're seeing you, it's like perhaps you recently had like a very big like heartbreak or like a hard disappointment, or you've had like a lot of quote unquote bad experiences or disappointing experiences with romantic partners or dating or things like that. And you might bring yourself down sometimes and think like, oh my God, I'm never going to find love, or like, oh my God, it's never going to happen to me, or like, oh my God, like I can't get this right and it has to be so hard, and why is it so difficult? Whereas this bestie is coming through to kind of say like, honey bunch, like you have so much goodness to offer to the world, and the world, like what you seek is seeking you. Like the world has so much to offer to you back, and if it's not happening right now, it doesn't mean that it will never happen. There's also something about this person really encouraging you and perhaps helping you, getting insight on your traumas, your patterns, the ways in which you kind of like act in disservice to yourself, the ways in which you keep yourself small, the ways in which you perhaps like limit your own beliefs. Yeah, there's definitely something very expansive about this person's present in your life, and definitely something about you gaining a lot more insights and being able to learn a lot from this person. With this soul time card also being here, perhaps this person, like this bestie of yours, because I mean, you can have multiple besties. This might be just one. There's definitely something about this person wanting you or like encouraging you to kind of like go deeper within yourself and get in touch with your soul, with your heart's true desires. We do have repeating fours. What was this? This was number 1, and this is number 60. Well, we have number 31 with this cornucopia card, which reduces to 4, and we have a number 40, which also reduces to 4. So 44 or April or number 4 might be relevant. We have 22, 31, 40. Those might be relevant ages. Doesn't have to be. This could very well be like a grandmother or something, because there's definitely a wisdom. It doesn't have to be. For some of you, this could literally be like a younger person than you. This could be like your little sister. It doesn't matter. But yeah, there's definitely something about this bestie of yours really, really encouraging you to go deep within yourself and kind of like uncover what is hidden, and encouraging you and helping you work through your patterns and your beliefs and your systems that are at play, if that makes sense. And they really wanting you to succeed and to do well. Like they want to see you with someone who is worthy of you and who is able to see you and to hold you in the way that you deserve. Like they really, really, really would hate it to see you with someone who's kind of like, how do you say it? Oh God, sometimes it's so hard to channel in English because English is not my first language, and for some reason my English capabilities are like, they shrink when I'm channeling, because like I know exactly what word I want to use, but it kind of doesn't come up. Oh, and the number 22 also reduces to 4, so 444 might be a relevant number for this connection, or for you guys. What was I saying? Yes, they would hate to, like, it would be very sad for them, for your bestie, to see you doing a disservice to yourself also by like accepting less than you deserve. That's the thing. That's something that they really, really, really want you to kind of like snap out of, like accepting less than you deserve. And perhaps they have been shedding light on things that you have been like, you have been coming short of yourself, or how do you say that? Like doing yourself again, the best words that I can find right now is like doing yourself a disservice by accepting partners or just like dates that were just not giving much, basically. And you were like pouring a lot into them, but you weren't getting a lot back, and you were like, oh, it's fine, I like them anyways, or like I love this person and I don't need to get anything back, like I just give because I'm a giver and because it feels good. And that's very genuine. This person really recognizes that this is a very beautiful value of yours. And the thing is, because it's so true, like you also deserve to receive that back. And they wish you would see that there's so much abundance around you and available to you if you only would let yourself have it, if you only would not just stop and accept crumbs from people constantly. It's like you're always preparing like a feast and a whole entire banquet, or however you say that, just like an entire feast for everyone and for everyone around you and the people that you love and that you care about, and people are just like paying you back with crumbs essentially, and you're like, oh, this is fine, This person definitely sees you as having so much potential, and perhaps you feel very free and very comfortable and very safe with this person. So I'm getting similar vibes to pile 1, although like the dynamics are slightly different. Yeah, you will know if you were called to that pile 2, it doesn't have to, but there's definitely something about this person having almost like a broader vision, kind of like seeing you in a different light than you see yourself. Like you see yourself as kind of like smaller than you are, and your bestie sees you as like, oh my God, like there's so much more to you. Like, oh my God, like why do you hold back when you have so much to give? And like, why do you accept so many small things or like small energies when there's so much available to you? There's definitely something about this bestie really expanding your horizons and kind of like pushing you to do better, not in the sense of you need to act better because you're acting in poor ways, but in the sense of like do better, like allow yourself to receive more, see your own value, see your own worth. Because it's almost like you don't see your own worth and you don't see what you deserve. And this bestie really, really, really wants you to have what you deserve, which is great things. That's strongly what I'm getting for this pile. Like, give me a few seconds, because usually I'm getting so much at once that I forget to mention something. So give me a few seconds, and otherwise we're just going to move on. I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, perhaps this is also someone who you feel safe talking to, and they're very happy to like talk with you about like deeper things. Perhaps you guys talk with each other about things that you don't really talk about with anyone else, because this is such a safe space for you both. And like I'm seeing you guys having like slumber parties and just like talking late at night with like snacks and candles and all that stuff, and just like having this really deep intimate conversations about things that you wouldn't even come to like talk about with other people, because it's just different or something. But there's definitely something about this person really pushing you to express yourself more and to put yourself out there more, and probably something about communicating your needs more. And if you don't even know what your needs are, perhaps this person is really has like they have been showing you, or like they have been shedding light on the fact that you should make time to get to know yourself first, and to get to understand what your boundaries even are and what your needs even are, because otherwise of course you're going to just accept less than what you deserve, because you don't even realize almost what you deserve. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So like, let's put these to the side. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pull some oracles. First row of cards is going to be what they want to tell you about your love life, or about love in general. And then the second row of cards is going to tell us about what your bestie's higher self wants to tell you, wants you to know about life in general. So for pile 2, what does pile 2's bestie's higher self want to say to pile 2 about love? Wow, so we have dependability. And then we have this. For pile 2, what is it that pile 2's bestie's higher self? Okay. We have happiness. I am aware. Oh my god, yes. I love this. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Oh, on the bottom of the deck, for some reason, I feel called to say we do have the empathy card with I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation, which I mean, I feel like you might, if anything, be a little bit more prone to validate the other person's side more than your own side of the story, if that makes sense. Is that there might definitely be some people-pleasing tendencies here. For pile 2, what does their bestie's higher self want to tell them about love? Okay, so both of those. So we have cast a circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. And waning gibbous, count your blessings. Which one do we... I want to put it like that. So now for the tarot. Okay, what was that? That's the 8 of Wands. I feel like they want to push you to be in touch with like your spirituality more, like listening more to the clues and the cues of the universe. Perhaps they are very in touch with their guides, and they are teaching you, or like they're pushing you to be more in touch with your own guides, with your intuition. Yeah, that's definitely something that you might be learning from this person, to like be more in touch with your intuition and listen to your body more. Like that's something I'm getting, like listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your heart. We have some dolphins coming through. That might be a significant elephant. What about this dependability? For what pile 2's besties higher self wants to say to pile 2, please. What about this dependability? Pile 2. What their bestie's higher self wants to tell pile 2 about. That is way too much. Should I take that card? I'm just going to put it back. Okay, so what is it about dependability that pile 2's bestie's higher self wants to tell? Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords. And I want a clarifier for that, please. The Ace of Wands. Okay. No, we have the Ace of Wands, the Sun, and the Hermit. And for some reason, the Ace of Cups also wants to say hi. I'm going to put that like this. Yeah, that works. What about happiness? Wow. Yeah. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. So the High Priestess. And what about cast circle, healthy boundaries, and count your blessings, please, for pile 2, what their bestie's higher self wants to tell them. We have the Ace of Pentacles, so lots of ace energies. That is so, yeah, I'm getting for a lot of you, you guys might have, it doesn't have to resonate for everyone, but for a lot of you, you guys might have recently had like some type of heartbreak or heart disappointment or something like that, or like a breakup of some sort, or just have something happened to you in like your romantic life that made you both go like this like just done, over with this, just kind of like putting an end to something. It could be like either a pattern of yours or literally just like cutting a person off or just like literally parting ways with someone. It doesn't have to be, but there's definitely something about you both realizing that something significant happened around you, realizing or kind of like putting a boundary or just like cutting a cord with something or someone that was really just not healthy and not good for you. But let's start by this dependability and this Knight of Swords and this Ace of Wands. I feel like your bestie's higher self is telling you, don't rush and don't get, you might have Aries placements too. For some of you, I'm getting like Aries Sun and Rising, or like an Aries Stellium, or just like a lot of first house placements. There's something about you getting very, very enthusiastic as soon as you meet someone. Like you might be someone who catches crushes very easily. Or just you might, you don't really give people the benefit of the doubt. You just assume the best about people and you kind of like, you're all in right away, and then you start giving so much and without even having expectations from them. You might be just so loving and so accepting that you're like, I just accept people exactly as they are and I just want to be happy and be sweet with them and just enjoy. Are we still rolling? Yes, we are. Good. But there's something about like, okay, like there's value in those things, but don't take that to the extreme. Like also, it wouldn't surprise me again if this person, like if your bestie had like Gemini placements, because it's almost like your bestie is kind of like inviting you and pushing you to see things from different perspectives. They're like, yes, whatever you're doing, whatever you have is very, very valuable, but don't take it to the extreme because you're kind of like doing yourself, again, a disservice or like a disfavor. Is that a word? I don't know. You're just putting yourself in unfavorable conditions because you're kind of like blindly going only with one thing. And it's almost like your bestie is saying, don't get too lost in that. And like definitely also take into consideration that you are allowed to let people, or like to let the other person, to let your potential partner, to let your date show up for you. Like allow them to show you what they got. Like we know that you have a lot to give. We know that you just show authentically and just give, and you're just like right in. I'm getting Chariot vibes, so it wouldn't surprise me if you had like Cancerian energies in you. Cancer Venus perhaps, or like Cancer Mars. Cancer rising, any type of Cancer placements, truthfully, but there's definitely something about your bestie being like, okay, like yes, your values of like not having any expectations and letting people be exactly as they are and getting swept away in the passion and in the moment, that's very awesome, that's very valuable, but also like let people come to you too. It's almost like maybe a lot of your relationships, a lot of your like romantic endeavors, I don't know why I said endeavors, but like your romantic relationships have been quite one-sided because you just let slide so much. You've let slide so much and you just keep giving regardless in need of like what the other person does or doesn't do, because that's just in your nature to give, and that's very valuable. But indeed your bestie is saying like, allow this person to also come through to you. Like allow, like what do they have to offer you? Do they have anything at all to offer you? Or is it just like, superficial? Your partner should offer you more than just a chance to nurture them. Like you might have the very strong urge or like desire or passion to like nurture people and to take care of people and just like to be there for them and just share love with them, just because you're such a loving and abundantly loving person, essentially. But you're also deserving of receiving that same love. And I just heard respect. So perhaps you have indeed taken things in the past that weren't, people might have been not too considerate when it comes to how they treated you or what they gave to you. So like you might have been dealing with a lot of like disrespect, or indeed just like, it's kind of like there's this feeling of like your bestie not wanting you to fade into the background and not putting yourself like on a lower position and putting other people, like the people that you're dating or the people that you're in a relationship with, on a pedestal, and realize that you guys are both equals and that you should be able to like mutually feed into each other, and that you should be mutually be able to depend on each other. And you might have attracted in the past people that, if you have strong water energy in your chart, doesn't have to be, but if you have strong water energy, you might have attracted a lot of people with just like a lot of air with this Knight of Swords coming through. I mean, we do have Swords and Ace of Wands, which is air signs, again, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and fire signs are Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. It doesn't have to be, but there's definitely something about your bestie not wanting you to kind of like let yourself fade into the background and just realize that you deserve an equal, mutually giving and mutually nurturing and loving relationship, love. I don't know why I blanked out there. There's also something about your bestie not wanting you to go too fast, because like it's almost like you might be swept away in the moment by like the passion and the chemistry and the wittiness and the flirting and the awesomeness of this connection, and it might also just like fizzle out and die out as quickly, because it's like a fast burn and then also like a fast burnout, if that makes sense. So there's definitely something about slowing down, about also having boundaries. There's definitely something about boundaries. So that was probably a message that is going to come through in these cards, because we do literally have like healthy boundaries, cast a circle. And there's definitely something about boundaries here as well, like taking charge of your own worth. That's just kind of what I'm hearing. It keeps seeming to me as if your bestie keeps saying like, know your worth, don't just accept less than you deserve. With this happiness card coming through in the High Priestess, I want to read this again. It says, I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. So this is actually pretty straightforward. What your bestie's higher self is saying to you is, again, with the High Priestess is this is Pisces and Virgo energies, by the way. The High Priestess is a very kind of like, very passive, but very like, it's not like passive as in like fading into the background and kind of like letting people walk over you and just like not having an opinion or anything like that. The High Priestess is passive in the sense that it's a highly feminine and highly intuitive and highly observant and highly receptive type of energy. The High Priestess observes. The High Priestess kind of like looks at both the dark and the light, and the High Priestess trusts divine, like blindly in divine timing, and she trusts the universe, and she trusts that everything that will come to her will find her. And it's almost like your bestie is saying, like, listen to your intuition and truly tune into yourself and listen to your gut feelings. Is this making you happy or not? There can be a lot of laughter, a lot of like affection and a lot of passion and a lot of like good times shared between the two of like you and your partner or you and who you're dating. But is it truly bringing you joy? Are you allowed to drop into this feminine energy, or are you always kind of like showing up and taking care of people? Your bestie is really inviting you to kind of like, again, this vibe of like observe, like let people show up for you too. Just like observe, what is this person offering to you? And it's almost like you don't want to like shun people or just like tell people off or reject people because they don't have a lot to offer, quote unquote. Because you're like, everyone is worthy, everyone is deserving. It doesn't matter what you do or you don't do, like you're still deserving of love. Yeah, that's very true, but it's not like you're responsible for some of you or this person might have like teacher jobs or something like that. Like leadership roles in which you're like in charge of people. You might have children, doesn't have to be. But I'm definitely getting this vibe of like caretaker, but like taking caretaking to almost like an extreme. And your bestie's higher self is really saying like, you're allowed to sit back, and if anything, you owe it to yourself to sit back and just like look and observe, what is this person bringing into me? What kind of value do they add to my life? Like you obviously add a lot to people's lives because you're just nurturing and giving, and you probably like making food, or just like you like giving gifts and you like giving physical affection or whatever it is. But what are people adding to your life? Like you're allowed to select the people that you hang out with and the people that you share yourself with based on what they add, like the place that they have in your life. Like you don't have to take connections or just like say that it's enough when you're clearly not really receiving anything from them, or just like you're receiving crumbs. Again, there's this sense of you're adding a lot of value to their lives, but what are they bringing into yours? Like connections and relationships should make your life better, not worse, or like not drain you. They shouldn't take from you. They should also just like add something to your life. Whatever it is, like either laughter or I just got that there was a reel or a quote or something like that that says if it doesn't bring you orgasms or money or laughter or something like that, then it doesn't belong in your life. And this is probably something that your bestie would tell you, or your bestie's higher self is telling you. If it doesn't give you good things, then why is it in your life in the first place? Or why does it have such a crucial, close position in your life? Like you can still keep people around them if you like them, like it's fine. But you don't have to share yourself so intimately and share so much of you with everyone. And it's not a matter of like who deserves it and who doesn't deserve it. Obviously, everyone deserves love. Like everyone, it's your birthright. Like we all are equally deserving of love regardless of what we do, what we say, what we don't do, of course. But it's not your job. Like you're not in charge of loving everyone that comes, like every single lost soul, unconscious soul that comes into your way. It's not your job. Like, yes, you're awesome. It's beautiful. You just want to spread the love. But it's not your job. You're not in charge of everyone. Like, you're not everyone's mother. Oh, we did have the mother card coming through. Yeah. You definitely might have... I'm getting Lilith Cancer. Doesn't have to be, but... or Lilith... or Chiron Cancer. You might, again, like strong Cancer placement. Doesn't have to be. Or you might have like a strong mother wound, perhaps. I'm getting for some of you very, very specific messages. It's obviously not going to resonate for everyone. But for some of you, you might have grown up without like a mother figure or like your mother. Because I'm getting something about like compensation, like compensating for something that you were lacking in your life. And you want to kind of like show up in the way that you needed people to show up for you. And that's why you always want to help, you always want to give, you always want to nourish and nurture, because you never really had that growing up. And that's beautiful. Like you're making a change for sure. But again, you can take it a little bit too far in the sense that you're draining yourself and you're keeping yourself small and you're accepting less than you deserve because you feel like obliged deep down, like in your subconscious. There's definitely something about your bestie kind of like wanting to look at your bestie's higher self, to wanting you to look at where your patterns come from. And where, just look at your subconscious behaviors, like your subconscious reasonings. Like I'm hearing like why, but like why in like an inviting type of way, like inviting you to go deeper. This person really wants you to go deeper because you have such potential to go deeper, both within yourself and with a person. So they really don't like seeing you accepting like, just like basic normal stuff, because you're deserving of like excellence and like of awesomeness and beauty and passion and fiery, awesome, beautiful things, if that makes sense. Count your blessings, waning gibbous, and cast a circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. And with this Ace of Pentacles, I actually want to take a clarifier. What about this Ace of Pentacles with healthy boundaries and count your blessings, please? Well, there's a message about like, again, there's something about synchronicities, something about treating yourself, something about allowing yourself to like take care of yourself more, something about allowing yourself to receive attention, to realize that you're deserving of attention too. Like you might give a lot of attention to, you might be definitely the type of person that when you're like in a group setting of people and a person says something but no one hears them, or like they crack a joke and nobody laughs because nobody was paying attention, like you will be the one to like notice them and to laugh at their joke, or to like ask them to repeat themselves, because you want to include everyone, because you care so much, and because you want to show this person that they're not forgotten, or that they're not transparent, or that they're not like invisible. Like you want to make everyone feel seen. But there's something about like pour some energy back into yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And like treat yourself, like buy some new things for yourself. Perhaps like you don't like to splurge on yourself and you were like, yeah, I don't need things, I would rather spend money on other people. Yeah, that's very true, that's very fair, but also you deserve nice things. Like, you deserve to feel nice. You deserve to be comfortable. You deserve to like feel cute in like a cool outfit or something like that. There's definitely something about this person might teach you about like witchcraft or like manifestation, or like how to strengthen your aura or like your energy. But Spirit, give me a clip. We have Judgment and Death at the bottom of the deck. What is this card? The Empress. Yeah, so look at this. All those major arcanas and like aces. Damn, like your bestie's higher self really wants you to just dream bigger and just to allow yourself to receive more. I know I said this already, but like they really want you to wake up to how awesome you are and to wake up to all the ways in which you're keeping yourself small, in which you are kind of like neglecting yourself. They want you to stop neglecting yourself. Also because perhaps sometimes like they might notice that you burn yourself out, or you just like go to great lengths for people and kind of like tire yourself out, and you have nothing actually left to give. Like you might be the type of person that still, if you're super tired and you were about to go to sleep and someone calls you because they're like in the middle of the crisis, like you will stay up for them even though like your eyes are literally shutting down. Like you don't you cannot give. It's the thing about like the airplay, like when you have like, you know, when they say like in case of emergency just put your own mask on first, and if needed only then you can help someone else with their mask. You should not take care of someone else's mask before your own. Like you can only help someone in a proper way, I want to say, once you're taking care of yourself. So you should pour into yourself first. And then also something about like simplifying, like realize your potential, realize how awesome you are, and how much you have to give and to receive. But imagine how many even more beautiful things you could achieve with yourself and with a partner, with like a lover. If you would also, what is it? I feel like this is something that is not really reaching your ears, because it's almost like this thing is like very vague advice that perhaps like they've been trying to tell you, to show you. I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Perhaps it's like a message that maybe is like very hard to reach you because you kind of like don't see it yet, because you don't see through your own, because you might be very stubborn. I'm getting Taurus vibes right now. Very stubborn, and you might just, yeah, very stubborn in your ways, and kind of like being like, no, but I want to give to people, but I want to show people love, and I don't want anyone to feel left behind, and I don't want anyone to feel alone, and I want to like everyone to feel love. But you don't kind of like include yourself, and your bestie really wants you to be aware of this and to kind of like look at what you're doing, like look at how you're loving everyone else but yourself, and you're wanting happiness and beautiful things for everyone but yourself. You want everyone to feel supported, but who's supporting you? You want everyone to feel supported, but you will not like accept or dare to even ask for help or support because you don't want to bother people. Like you don't want people to feel like a burden, therefore you're always there for them, but at the same time you are always feeling like a burden to people, and you won't allow yourself, not necessarily that you're always feeling like a burden, but you get what I mean. This is like, yeah, the idea that you want everyone to feel loved, but you're not really making sure that you also feel loved, and you want everyone to feel like they're welcome and like they're not a burden, but you also kind of like portray yourself as if you were the burden. So now for moving on, because I feel like we got the message across pretty clearly. What is it that Pile 2's bestie's higher self wants to tell them about life, please? Just life in general. What other advice or insight? Perception. Yeah. And revision. Yeah, I feel like that one is relevant. I'm just going to keep that there. What other advice? Yeah, this bestie is definitely like an old soul. What else do they want to tell Pile 2 about life in general? What other advice? What other areas? Okay, are we gonna take them both? Are we gonna take them both? I guess we're gonna take them both. That's fine. So we have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I feel like this bestie's trying to like tell you the same thing over and over in different ways. Like they're showing you proof of the value of what they're saying in all kinds of different ways, but the core message of it all is just like the same thing. Is like you need to love yourself first. Like you need to love yourself more. And it's almost like you don't understand, like you don't understand exactly what you mean. It's almost like you're like, yeah, true, but also this and this and that. It's like you never make it about you, and you deserve to make it about you. You might have Leo, Lilith, or something like that. Doesn't have to be, obviously, but yeah, we have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone, and we have purpose. I know what I'm here to do. So it's almost like you're, I know we still have to pull more cards, but it's almost like your bestie's like, you know deep down that I'm right. Like, you know that what I'm saying is right. But yeah, you just might have a wound around being too much, around like not being listened, and a wound around being... a wound around putting yourself in the spotlight, like you feel like you have this very deeply rooted wound around not feeling like you deserve attention, not feeling like you deserve to speak up, or like you don't deserve to, like you don't deserve things, essentially. So you kind of like cast yourself aside to make room for others. I just heard erasure. It's like you're almost erasing yourself from the picture. And your bestie's higher self really wants you to be seen and to show yourself. We have movement. Inspiration is drawn to motion. Yeah, we did have movement card also with the air card. Which one was it? Yeah, air, motion. Well, it's the same thing, basically. But let's see. Let's pull some tarot cards to clarify these. My Aries cat just entered the room and he's very cute, and I want to go squish him, but I will have to wait after this reading. So what about perception? What is it that House's bestie's higher self wants to tell this one or not? Oh, we're just gonna take that. The Two of Pentacles. What about pride and purpose? What about pride and purpose? Yeah, it's almost like you pride yourself in being someone who kind of like self-effaces, like annihilates, like self-obliterates for others, but that's also like an ego response. This might be triggering to hear, but being kind of like acting like the martyr and kind of like only ever, like people pleasing is an ego response. People pleasing is almost like, there is selfishness to people pleasing, because by people pleasing, by always making sure that everyone around us is happy with us, is happy about us, is always happy and never upset about us, it's kind of like we also preserve our sense of goodness, sense of worth, sense of, oh, I'm doing something right, oh, I belong because I am being good and I'm not upsetting anyone, I'm not stepping on any toes, basically. So your bestie definitely wants you to realize that it is a virtue, but there is a shadow side to it. Like, this is not to say like, oh, you're just being selfish and that's all there is. Like, no, it is absolutely a virtue to be loving. Like, we definitely need more of that. We need more compassionate people. We need more people with like who just show kindness. We need people who realize that people, like, everyone deserves love and attention, and everyone is worthy regardless of what we do or don't do. Regardless of where we're at in life, regardless of what we give, regardless of, you don't have to deserve or earn love. We're all inherently deserving of love. We all are love, if you want to take it a level deeper. But yeah, this bestie's higher self also wants you to become aware of the fact that there is a shadow side to that, and this is probably very likely coming from like a shadow response or like a trauma response, as like a coping mechanism that is not serving you right now. So that is definitely a very clear message. But do we need to pull a tarot card for this message specifically? The Nine of Cups. Yeah, it's almost like, because the Nine of Cups is the happiness card, but this person is like happy on their own. In this case scenario, it's almost kind of coming through as like a rather sad. It's not bad, but it's just like, again, to reaffirm the message that I was just giving now. It's like in order to have true, real, in order to have that 10 of Cups, that like actual, genuine, emotional fulfillment, you need to be fully authentic and fully show yourself to people, and it needs to be reciprocated. It needs to be a two-way thing. Like, you cannot achieve full happiness. Everything comes back. This is so awesome. Yeah, this bestie's best friend, like your bestie's higher self, they know shit. Like, they have a lot of wisdom. But there's definitely something about, you cannot achieve true full happiness to its fullest if you keep yourself in situations that are one-sided. And like, honestly, you're doing also disfavor to the people that you are relating with in this way, because they also don't have kind of like, they're just keeping stuck, they're just staying stuck in this cycle of just like, oh, I'm just comfortable, I'm just chilling here, I don't have to expand myself, I don't have to get out of my comfort zone because I'm taken care of anyway, like this person will show up anyways, like I don't have to do anything for it. And that's also kind of like a disservice to them, because they can also do probably a lot better. If they're involved in these types of connection in which they're just taking and never giving and never being reciprocating, they probably also don't experience the happiest of connections. So, yes, your bestie's higher self definitely wants that 10 of Cups for you, but there needs to be like a it's almost, I just heard like an extra gear, buckle up or something like that. There needs to be like an extra level, an extra layer to your connections in order for you to achieve that true happiness. And again, I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And you deserve to be happy. That's what your bestie's higher self is also telling you. So what about this movement? Inspiration is drawn to motion. We have the 3 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. It's almost like, it wouldn't surprise me if you had like Virgo placements, because there's this sense of, oh, I will take on all the tasks, I will take care of it. But then you kind of like burn yourself out and you're like, oh my God, I need to keep going, but you push yourself almost to the limit. Did I talk about this? I didn't talk about this, but I feel like this is just weird. Honestly, this is not giving me any new messages, but I will just, do I need to turn the light on? Just give me a second, guys. Okay, I had the impression that it was getting a little darker. And I also went and squished my cat real quick, because he was so cute, he was being a little sausage. Anyways, this perception, I'm not getting much new information, because I feel like this person has been just like, kind of repeating over and over the same things to you, and you're maybe not like entirely absorbing, like the messages are not super landing necessarily, but this perception and 2 of Pentacles, it's like, they want you to weigh, to kind of like question, not in the sense of like that your values and your opinions and your ways of being are not valid, but it's like, consider this, consider that. Like, 2 things can be true at once with this 2 of Pentacles. It's like, you can have this belief of like wanting to give and wanting to just like be super loving with everyone and everyone is deserving, but it's also true that you also deserve that. Like, it's not all about everyone else but you. Like, you're also deserving of love, and just like, they really want you to pay attention to your perception. And again, we do have this kind of like third eye thing going on here, so there's definitely something about this person really pushing you, really nudging you to become more spiritually aware and kind of like dive deeper and see things indeed from a different perspective. Yeah, it's almost like with this movement card, inspiration is drawn to motion. It's almost like you're also allowed to do things differently, or to like let new fresh perspectives come into your ways and like the way that you're used to doing like work or projects, or just like, you know, how you're used to doing relationships. If you're always in charge, if you're always making the decisions, perhaps if you're always taking care of everyone, you're kind of also not really allowing for space to other people to shine and to give their input and to kind of like show you what they could. It's almost like you don't even trust people to bring value in, because you're kind of like, you feel so responsible. You're like, oh my God, I have to control over all of these things. This is a lot about relationships still. But it's almost like, I'm getting the vibe, you know when they say like the Virgo stereotype on social media is like the person who in the group project does everything on their own because they don't trust the others to be able to deliver something that is of value, something that is good. This is kind of also the vibes that I'm getting from you for how your bestie's higher self is kind of like trying to talk to you. It's like you don't have to take all the responsibility, and if anything, it's limiting to you because you're kind of like cropping down, you're draining yourself of energy, you're letting your energy be drained. And it's also limiting because it's like if you try to control everything all the time and just like be the only one who ever tries to lead and direct things, you also don't allow yourself to see what else is there, like to see what kind of value other people have to bring in, if that makes sense. It's like you don't let people take care of you. You don't allow people to also come through to you. And this is probably very like a very deeply seated coping mechanism, which is very fair. You're not to blame for that. But it's a very real thing. I mean, it doesn't have to resonate if you're still here. It probably does. So there is valuable information for that. But yes, I hope that that made sense. Let's go into advice now from your bestie's higher self to you, pile 2. What? There you go. We have first quarter moon in Aquarius. Trust the universe. And this is the third eye. I have a bit of a dry throat. Let me drink some water. Yeah, and at the back of the deck, we have go deeper with full moon in Scorpio, new moon in Scorpio, which I feel is relevant. So I'm just going to put it there. But there's definitely something about like, just like, you can let go of the reins, like let go and let God. Like you don't have to take care of everything. Like things also sometimes can take care of themselves. And you're also, whether you believe it or not, the universe is taking care of you. If you let it. If you don't let it, then there's no way for it to arrive or to like deliver. But the universe is trying to take care of you too. Like you don't have to be in charge of everything all the time. One more for pile 2, please, Spirit. Or pile 2's higher self? Pile 2's bestie's higher self. There you go. One more advice for pile 2, please. About these energies that we just spoke about. We have first quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. Yeah, there's definitely something about communication, and perhaps that's a blockage that you have. Also, I just had like that very dry throat right now. I mean, I've been talking for a little bit, so it doesn't have to be relevant for the pile per se, but definitely we did have communication, something about communication. Yeah, with the mushroom magic card, there's something about you're allowed, you could benefit from speaking your boundaries a little bit more, because like, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Like if you don't tell people that anything is wrong, that they don't know. Like people cannot read your minds. That's definitely also a Gemini trait. Doesn't have to be, but yeah, if you don't let people know that something is off or something is missing, then they don't know. And like, again, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you say something, then there's bigger chances of creating actual harmony and mutuality than when you literally do not speak about it at all. So now we're going to take some cards from the Rebel deck. If you're not familiar with the Rebel deck, take the messages with a pinch of salt. It's like, it's a funny deck. It's for the funsies. Don't take it too seriously. But what advice do you have for pile 2, please? Okay. So we have stop sleeping so damn much. Wake up. You're missing some cool-ish. Yeah, I feel like this is more metaphorical. It's like your perspective is kind of like limited, and like just wake up to all the possibilities. Like you don't have all the answers, and you're not expected to have all the answers. So just allow yourself to kind of like wander out of your comfort zone when it comes to like your beliefs and your perceptions and your perspectives and your ways of doing things. Does that make sense? We have dollar sign, make it rain. This is kind of coming across to me as like, you deserve good things. So definitely focus also more on yourself. Focus on your passions. Focus on whatever it is that brings you maybe the bag. if anything at all, if you have the possibility of like focusing more on that, if that would even bring you more revenue, if that makes sense. And then we also have, you need a good effing cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you. Yeah, I feel like perhaps you feel the need, or like you feel like you need to be composed and super reliable all the time and kind of like being available at all times. But you're also just allowed to take some time for yourself and to have a good cry and to just, you know, just to be offline essentially for a little bit. You don't have to be available all the freaking time. My cat is walking on the rooftop. I hope he's not gonna break anything. Anyways, I want to take two more. Oh, one more. There you go. You're being shady. Watch out. Shit could get ugly. This is just to say there is shadow aspects to what you're doing. And that doesn't mean that you're to blame for it. Just be aware of how you're limiting yourself and how you're kind of like doing yourself a disservice again. And just become aware of these shadowy aspects and so you can heal them and you can be free kind of like from these burdens. And because if you're in this energy, you likely are not entirely happy with your, which I mean happiness, we do have happiness here. So that's definitely something. You're probably not entirely happy with your relationships and your connections. So there is potential for growth for sure. And your bestie got your back, pile 2. Like, this person loves you and adores you and like they want the best for you. And as we have seen, so I hope this is all that I'm getting. I really hope that this gave you some insight and this served you well. Definitely, I feel like I need to like say journal about this or something and sit with these energies a little bit if you feel called to, because there might be a lot of information that might be a little bit harder to metabolize or something. I don't know why I feel the need to do this, but to say this. But yes, pile 2, thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I love this reading. I really hope it brought you some type of insight or some type of value. Definitely feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how this resonated. As per usual, it means a lot to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. And also feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That really helps with the algorithm. And thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the beautiful Brews, Jade, Tower, as well as the White Sage Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about what your bestie's higher self has to tell you about love and life, and I'm so excited! Oh my god, it's been a few days since I filmed the last pile because, you know, life happens in between. But what we're going to do, essentially, there is a full breakdown and a little bit more of detailed information about what this reading entails in the intro, so if you skip that, you might want to go back and check that out. If not, that's fine, just roll with it. Anyways, we're going to first look into these pre-shuffled oracles. So this side, the left side of this spread, will indicate to us the energy of your bestie's higher self. Now, this doesn't have to be your bestie's little human energy. This is more like the subtle, more high vibrational, most aligned and unconditionally loving energy of your bestie. For some reason, I feel called like this could be both. For some reason, I'm getting some messages already about like a long distance bestie. Could be, doesn't have to be. Maybe that's for someone specific, that like a real quick confirmation already. Before we even see the cards, this side of the spread, so on the right, we will have a look into how your bestie's higher self sees you. So the kind of current energy that you are in at this time, and this should serve as a little bit of an energy check so you can know whether this is your pile or not. And then afterwards, we're going to go into the tarot with some extra oracles to see what your bestie's higher self has to tell you about your love life and your life in general. And then afterwards, we're going to take some advice. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Your bestie's higher self energy is coming through with the Heron, with patience. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently towards your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. We have Yin with intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. We also have number 20 with rock and endurance. That's the element of earth. And we also have I keep the waters pure. And for how your bestie's higher self sees you, we have 2 archetype cards. This one is number 44 with the box. Then we have the threshold with number 45. Then we have number 49, Volcano. And we have Grandmother Moonstone, Cycles of Change with the element of water, illuminating boundaries, new beginnings. And last but not least, we have number 19, Delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. Now, pile 3, this, oh my god, this is such freaking beautiful energy, and I'm so excited to just like dissect everything that I'm already getting. So, as I mentioned in the intro, there's a lot of feminine energies coming through. So if I say she or her, like that will resonate probably with everyone, like with most people. But if it doesn't resonate, if it's not the case for you, if your bestie is like a he or a them or whatever, please forgive me. Just the energies are coming through very strongly as feminine energies, because that's the majority of the collective essentially watching these readings. So yes, I will try to keep it gender neutral, but just be aware that that's the case. So starting with your bestie's higher self. Now this is such a deep, beautiful, pure soul. They're coming through as especially intense feminine energy. Like as I said, all these piles have strong feminine energy, but this person right here, damn, we definitely do have a lot of water and earth. We have the rock card, which is all about earth energy, and we have I keep the waters pure, which is obviously water. The heron is a bird that also lives a lot around water and in water. So we have a little bit of air. Those signs would be Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, but the strongest ones that are coming through for your bestie's higher self, again, they don't have to be astrologically relevant, but we do have the yin, so the feminine signs, Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo, Capricorn, and Pisces. It's interesting that we have a very loud highlight on patience here. We literally have the card of patience. We have this card which also mentioned patience, and we have this card which on the book it also mentions patience, and we also have this card, the volcano, on your side that mentions patience. So if that is something that you currently are learning or struggling to learn, this is probably your pile, because it has a lot to do with patience. Now, for how your bestie's higher self is coming through, this is definitely someone who's very introspective, very deep, kind, soft, introspective, almost quiet also type of soul. So definitely there's either something about the fact that you might not see them often, or you might not talk to them often, or they're just like a very introspective type of person, like an introvert, someone who really enjoys their alone time, someone who really enjoys diving deep into their subconscious and doing like things like shadow work. There's something about the night, so they might have been born at nighttime. They might just feel strongly called to the moon. There's definitely something, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if your bestie was into things like psychology and the occult and like philosophy and just like esoteric things, because there's definitely something about this person having a lot of wisdom to share. And for the effect that they have on you, I would say that they are teaching you directly and indirectly about feminine energy, about tenderness, about sweetness, about softening into situations, because how you're coming through is definitely, if this is your pile, you might have probably found this reading in a time in which there's a lot of turmoil happening in your life, or like inside of you, outside of you, could be both. There's definitely something about you being kind of stressed or like experiencing big changes. There's something about you being in this liminal space. Like I'm getting moon vibes from like your bestie's higher self, and from you I'm getting a lot of different things, but like specifically you're getting hanged man vibes, which is all about being in a liminal space, being like an in-between. So for what is happening in your practical reality, it might look like you going through major changes, like kind of like tower moments as well, or being on the precipice of making big changes. This could be, practically speaking, this could be like you might have just ended a significant relationship or like connection, whatever, or you might have brought some type of significant change in a relationship or connection, or you might be on the point of needing to either part ways with someone or like start like an important conversation with someone, or just like there's definitely something about you needing to bring about change, or like being in the middle of change. This could also literally be like you just quit a job, or you just lost a job, or you just finished school, or you're on the brink of finishing school, which makes sense because I'm filming this at the beginning of June, so you know that's kind of like the point in which you're finishing off school and all that fun stuff. And this volcano card is also all about I kind of want to read it out loud from the book. This is the Aries Oracle, absolute bomb deck. I love it so much. But this volcano oracle says, it's been building for a while now and you're ready to burst out with a bang. they better watch out for you, sweetheart, because you're about to bring the fire. If they aren't on your page, they better start running, because it's time for your takeover. Before you let out all your passionate, moving, fiery force, you might feel a bit stressed or cranky. It's just because the pressure is building. And guess what? Your stress and those uncomfortable feelings are just part of this process. It's hard to be patient when you have a fire in your belly, but you'll be letting it loose real soon. So there's definitely something about your bestie's higher self kind of like teaching you, or like wanting you to take it one thing at the time, taking it one step at the time, and being gentle with yourself through these fiery, tumultuous emotions and feelings and experiences that you might be going through at this time. There's definitely something about your bestie's higher self encouraging you to perhaps to rest more, to find more mental rest, because they can really notice that you might be overworking yourself a little bit. And that might be leading, like, internally, like on a mental and emotional type of level. They really notice you overworking yourself and kind of like not really allowing yourself space to, you might be rushing around all over the place and kind of like leaving things half finished because you're like rushing from one thing to the other. So like you're going from one appointment to the other, or you're doing one task and then remembering like, oh my God, I didn't finish the other thing. So you're like running to the other thing, or just like in the middle of a conversation, you drop everything and you go do something else because, oh my God, everything is so overwhelming. There's definitely something about your energy. There's this big overwhelmed energy for you at this time. And that's because it's just like a very not solid type of time in your life for you at this point. And for how your bestie's higher self is coming through, like they're such like literally like a rock. Like they're such a stable presence in your life. And if this is your pile, like you're probably getting so much support from your bestie's higher self, or like from your bestie, just like from spending time with them, or like from talking to them. It might be the case that every time that you're like in like stuck in a rut, or like going through chaotic periods, or like when you're having like a very, very busy or stressful day, or like overwhelming type of day, you like talk to your bestie and you just come out of on the other side of the conversation like completely kind of like refreshed or renewed, or kind of like it's like your bestie's presence in your life is such a peaceful, comforting, safe gift from the universe, and like such a reminder that everything is okay even when things are turbulent, and such a reminder that you're doing fine, and that it's okay to have these kind of phases in life where everything is a little bit uncertain, and then you can't really see what is going to happen, and perhaps like you have doubts about how to move forward. Because that might also definitely be something, like if you're going through these hard periods of change, you might just not see what is on the other side. Like you might be stuck between like multiple decisions, or like two decisions, between like either saying something or saying it in a different way, or like taking one choice or making another choice, or like going in one direction, going in another direction. You might be stuck between choosing two people or something like that. Whatever it is, I feel like your bestie's higher self is here to say you cannot get it wrong, and this is a period in your life that probably happened to shake things up on purpose. Like all these energies are not happening to hurt you, or they're not happening by chance, or they're not just happening for the sake of chaos. Like they're happening so that you can get clearer and take one step after another, or take like keeping your focus on the goal. And if you don't know what the goal is yet, whatever it is that you're dealing with, that's okay. Like that's what you're kind of like being invited to navigate. Like what do you want? Perhaps your bestie is really kind of like helping you figure out what you truly want, like listening to your heart's desires, because you might definitely be a little bit more on the masculine side of the spectrum, in which you're kind of like trying to rationalize a lot thing. Like you might have a lot of air and fire placements, doesn't have to be, but yeah, you guys might astrologically speaking just have very complementary type of energies. Perhaps your bestie has a lot of fixed placements and you have a lot of mutable placements, or whatever it is. So like you kind of like match and complement each other very well, because I feel like you might bring a lot more like excitement and kind of like fiery energy into your bestie's life, and they might bring a lot more like calm and coziness and comfort and sweetness and softness and rest into your life. But there's definitely something about your bestie kind of like helping you or wanting you to tune in more into your intuition and really quiet down the mind's chatter, and quiet down like the stress, and like they might see that your body is kind of like, you might have a lot of also Mercury placements, because I'm getting like a very nervous energy from you as well, or at least from how this person perceives you. They're really inviting you to, and teaching you, I want to say, they're really steering you into the direction of getting more, like getting more deeply in touch with yourself, as well as getting more in touch with your soul and your heart's true desires and your heart. I just heard the word purpose. So it might be the case that they're a little bit like further ahead in their spiritual journey, and you feel like you're a little bit behind. But even saying this, like your bestie would probably just say like, there's no such thing. Like, you're right on track. I'm on my journey. You are in your journey, and I have my my areas of expertise and my areas of passions and whatever it is that they're more familiar with, and you have your areas of expertise and passions, and yeah, you just bring different values into the friendship, into the connection, and into the world, I want to say. It's almost like, yeah, there's definitely something about your bestie, kind of like your bestie's higher self inviting you to go deeper and expand at the same time, and kind of like them teaching you that it's the same thing. Like, if you want to grow and if you want to go further on the outside of yourself, if you want to achieve more, there's likely, and if you feel blocked in doing that, there's likely a blockage inside of you that is blocking you from going deeper within yourself. And probably this blockage is happening because you're trying to find the answers in the wrong places. You might be trying to find the answers like with your brain, like with logic, or with what outcome or what choice would give me the best financial outcome, or whatever. Or the most peaceful outcome, or the most safe outcome. But your bestie's higher self is coming through to say, follow your intuition. And if you're not in touch with your intuition, then learn about getting in touch with your intuition. Like, listen to your body. How does your body feel? How does your heart feel when you think about one choice or the other choice? How does your, like, what is your heart's true desire? There's something about, this could very well be like a childhood friend, like someone who has known you for very long, because I just got an insight, and it doesn't have to resonate for everyone. So if this doesn't apply to you, be aware that this is definitely like a smaller portion of people watching this video. There's definitely something about your inner child, like your bestie's higher self coming through to say like, what was your child's desire? Like, what made you happy as a child? What kind of things did you love doing so much, and that you kind of like have left behind because they, you know, didn't serve a purpose anymore, because it wasn't productive or whatever. There's something about you needing to unleash. Perhaps you are like a little bit of a control freak. And this is coming through like with the most loving energy. And it's almost like, it's a very endearing energy that this bestie's higher self is coming through towards you. Like it's almost like you're worrying about all these things. It's like, oh my God, I have to take care of this, and I have to do this, and if I choose this, then this is going to be the problem. You're like, kind of like, it wouldn't surprise me if you had like a lot of Virgo or Gemini energy too, because oh my God, you're like looking at all the possible details and like overthinking yourself into oblivion. Like, you're overthinking yourself to such an extent that you're kind of like forgetting what matters. Like, you're missing the forest for the trees, or whatever that that saying is. And it's kind of like your bestie's higher self is coming through to say like, dude, like, by all means, keep overthinking yourself into oblivion, because you will find out on your, like, by yourself, that overthinking it and keeping going down that track of overthinking every single little detail and every single little possible outcome and every single little thing that could possibly go wrong, you will naturally find out that that's not the way to go. So again, there's definitely something about your bestie kind of letting you do your thing. Like, they are accepting and almost like approving of every single thing that you're doing. They're like, by all means, go for it. By all means, keep doing that. Like, they might give you insight, but they might not be, they're definitely not a like overpowering type of energy in which they're like, no, you have to do this, and like, you have to follow your heart. Absolutely. They're like, no, by all means, keep using your brain, see how that works for you. Like, this is so cool. I love this so much. I understand that if you are indeed like this volcano person, that it might be frustrating, because you're like, what are the answers? Oh my God. And your bestie might be like, there is no right answer. It's literally up to you. Like, you get to make out of your life, whatever it is that you want. Oh my god, I thought we weren't filming, but holy shit, I was like, have I been talking to absolutely no one? No, okay, so, we're good. Where was I? It's almost like you're being often super hard on yourself, but your bestie's higher self is coming through to kind of like, they have a very nurturing and nourishing and accepting and welcoming. Like, I feel like you can show all facets of you to your bestie because they're so non-judgmental. That's the thing. Like, they're so non-judgmental and they have space for all parts of you. Especially, I want to say, like, the more messy and chaotic parts. Like, you might also feel a little guilty, like when you come at them with like harsher or harder or like chaotic energies, or like when you're crying or something. And they might surprise you every time and be like, it's okay, like, let it out, like, please do, like, this is a safe space, like, you get to let it out, and if anything, it's good to let these things out and for you to be seen in these energies. There's definitely something about your bestie's higher self wanting you to trust yourself and to trust that, like, to trust that nothing has gone wrong, to trust that everything happens for a reason, and to trust that where you're at, because like if you look at this threshold card, it's interesting because the box and this deck, like this archetype deck, like I've had for over a year and I've shuffled it over and over and over again. These are 2 consecutive cards, and if you look at this box card, like this card is all about like barrier, like the barriers in which you keep yourself trapped, and like kind of like this need for structure and all these layers. Perhaps something that you might be going through is like some type of healing crisis in which you're like, I've healed so much already, like why do I keep encountering blockages and triggers, like does it ever stop? And your bestie's higher self is here to say no, it never stops. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, they are such a spiritually mature and emotionally mature type of energy. It's either this person, like your bestie, like they are a naturally patient type of person, or they had to learn patience by kind of being in your energy first. They're definitely very understanding when it comes to like all the things that you're going through. Like, they kind of like, you might feel like nobody gets you like your bestie does. Like, there's nobody who gets you like your bestie does, and there's nobody who can see what you're going through with such clarity as your bestie does. But I was speaking about these cards. There's this box card really tells me that indeed there's all these layers and all this noise around you, which is so black and white, which might be a place in which you're stuck, because it's interesting again with this threshold card, which comes right after this box card. Yeah, that's the thing. One thing that both these cards talk about, and we do have the excuse me, they do have the cycles of change card, with new beginnings and illuminating boundaries. There's something about you not knowing what is on the other side. You not knowing, like, outside of this box is the unknown. And there's definitely this threshold, like you're literally kind of like standing at the edge of a nest, which is also black and white. You're like kind of like stuck in this black and white thinking, perhaps, of like this logical need for stability and need to understand every single thing and everything, how it's going on. But like real freedom and real expansion and real, I want to say, love and creativity for some reason is coming through, is on the outside of that. Like it's in the unknown, and you're terrified of this unknown, and your bestie is here to remind you. Obviously you're terrified of the unknown because you don't know what it's going to bring. Like, it's so human to be terrified of the unknown. The thing is, we will never grow and expand, and we will stay stuck if we literally stay only ever in our comfort zone. So this bestie is definitely kind of like teaching you, or like nudging you to take that leap, to like go outside of your bounds, to understand where perhaps your boundaries and your bounds and your barriers come from. Like lack mentality is something that I just heard from, like an idea of lack. Whereas like you might be thinking like, oh, if I need to hold on to this specific thing, or to this specific thought, or this specific value, whatever it is, this specific way of doing things, because if I don't have that anymore, what then? Like, I don't know what happens or who I am if I let go of this specific thing. But your bestie is here to say you're keeping yourself so small, and you're keeping yourself trapped and stuck in this one-dimensional thing almost, where you have so much potential on the outside of it. And this is definitely something that your bestie is here to teach you, I want to say, or like to talk to you about, is that you're keeping yourself a little bit trapped. This is definitely a theme that came through all these piles. So it wouldn't surprise me if you guys like resonated with other piles as well, because the messages have been very similar. There's also something about it feels so scary right now, but not because the thing is actually very scary, but it's the fear. Like, it's not the thing that is the problem, it's the fear about the thing that is the problem. Like, I feel like I made this example in another reading as well. Like, if you take, for instance, like two people standing in a room and there's like a spider on the wall. One person with the fear of spiders will freak out, experience so much stress, experience so much like, oh my god, I need to get out of here, oh my god, help, 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 panic, what do we do? The other person might just love insects and be like, oh my god, look, it's a spider, or whatever. So two people are having a completely different experience of the same thing. So like the problem is not the thing. The problem, and this is not to say that your emotions and your experiences are a problem, but this is just to say your fear, your emotions, your anxiety about something are not reflective necessarily of the reality of it. And you will never find out, like, unless you go after the thing, or you go for the thing, or you jump over that threshold, you will never know what it's like. And you will always be stuck in this fear and this avoidance. It's kind of like you're avoiding yourself, you're avoiding your own growth, and you're kind of like keeping yourself stuck in this specific zone. So there's definitely something about, you might also be learning patience. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if you had like a lot of Aries placements. This patience coming through. I feel like perhaps also you might be going through certain things, or like you might be wanting things that are not showing up quick enough for you. Like, that's also the thing about control, is like perhaps like you want things to happen here and now. Like, I want it all and I want it now, but it might not be happening as fast as you want it to. And that's kind of like bothering you or making you worry whether you're like on the right track, whether you're doing the right thing, and you kind of like wish it would come faster. And this is definitely something that your bestie's higher self is here to teach you, or like to remind you of, like patience, like trust that everything happens in divine timing. Like the 3D is a slow moving dimension. Like, for instance, if you're like at 6 p.m., you start getting hungry for dinner, and you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make pizza for dinner tonight. You're hungry in this moment. So you're like, oh my god, I wish that the pizza was here already. But the thing is, you first need to get the ingredients. So maybe if you don't have the ingredients for the pizza, you need to go to the supermarket first and get like the what is it called? The ingredients for the dough, like the salt and the flour and the whatever it is that you want to use for the dough. And then you have to get like the tomato sauce, and you have to get the toppings and everything, and the herbs and the oil. And you have to get back home if you didn't have those things. And then you have to start making the dough. And then you have to start chopping the vegetables. And then you have to start lighting up the pan fire thing and start cooking the things and turn on the oven. You know, it's like a process. Like you can be at point A and know exactly what you want, but it takes different steps to arrive at that point. And the thing is, if you're hungry now and you really crave pizza, you will go through all those steps to get your pizza. But if you're hungry now and you cannot wait that long to like make the pizza and wait for the pizza and then only after eat the pizza, you can also decide to eat something that is way quicker. Like, it literally doesn't matter. That's kind of like the message that your bestie's higher self is coming through with. You get to decide, like, if you want that pizza, if you want the delightful if you want the high cuisine, the rich dinner experience, then you will have to go through this process of making like the homemade dough and the homemade sauce and everything. But you can also just like go to the supermarket, get a quick pizza and get it over with. Or you can just stay home, get the crackers and hummus and eat that, and you will still be like, the hunger will be fine. But whether that is the same satisfactory type of dinner experience, that's the question. There's no right or wrong thing. It's just different choices with different outcomes, and different choices, sometimes different choices take a little bit more of effort. You might also definitely be the type of person, and again, I'm getting that this will not resonate for everyone because I'm getting a lot of different scenarios, but you might be the type of person, and again, if this is not your message, definitely skip this. It's like, fine. You don't have to subscribe to every single message that comes through in every reading, because these are collective readings. Judgment. It's interesting. Judgment is all about it's Pluto energy. So Pluto takes everything that is deeply rooted at one's core and brings it out into the surface, which is similar energy to this volcano thing. So there's definitely something. Perhaps you have been withholding information from someone, or you have been holding yourself back from pursuing something. For instance, if you wanted to like publish music, or like publish your art, or start your own business, or you wanted to start your own YouTube channel, like you might have been withholding or like holding back because of indie, like these all this overthinking, this what if and what if and what if, and your bestie's kind of like supporting you through this process, and they're kind of like definitely encouraging you to go in that direction because that's what you want at the end of the day. But there's also something about, for some of you, you might be very quick to jump to conclusions, and you might be very quick to kind of like, if you are having like troubles with a friend or like with a partner, and you're like, oh my god, this is too difficult, like let's call it quits because it shouldn't have to be this hard, and like, oh my god, I'm so done. They might be like, your bestie's higher self might be teaching you or like inviting you to, you know, slow down and be like, okay, so what is it that you truly want? Do you truly want this to be over, or do you want to fix it? Like, what is the truth? Like, of course, if there's discomfort, you don't want to perpetrate and continue with the discomfort, but do you want to end the situation, or do you want to change the situation, take it in your hands and do whatever it is that you need to, whatever it is that you need to do? For some of you, for a very specific select of you, there's something that you haven't been expressing to a person. This could literally be, again, like expressing with your art, expressing with like music, or starting a podcast, whatever it is. But for some of you, it might be like that you have to have a conversation with a person, but you might have been kind of like holding back because you don't know how they will react. Like you might be wanting to, or needing, you might be needing to share something that is deeply vulnerable to you. And that is scary because you might be needing to talk about emotions, about hurt, about sadness, or about something that is upsetting you, and you want to fix that with that person. But you might be quicker to be like, you know what, I'm just not going to speak my truth, and I'm just going to let things be as they are, and I'm just going to let that person do their thing and whatever. Whereas your bestie's kind of like highlighting or like shedding light on the fact of like, this is not like, you're betraying yourself right now because you're holding back yourself, like you're keeping yourself trapped. Why is it that you need to keep the peace so much? Why is it? See, this is also a message that it came through in other piles, so that's very interesting. It's almost like I just heard like, I'm afraid of making a mess, like even with the pizza dough. You know, when you make pizza, it's just like the dough, it's very messy, but at the end of the day, like it's very nice, it's very delicious, it's like homemade pizza, it's fucking good. And like getting vulnerable with people, yes, it can make or break a connection. And I'm getting that quote from, I don't know whose quote that is. I'm like a walking aphorisms booklet at this point, and I love that for me, truthfully. There's this quote that says something along the lines of, if it can be ruined by the truth, then it deserves to be ruined by the truth. So if you speak up with your truth to a person and that connection crumbles, or they get mad and they never want to talk to you again, then that's the best outcome that you could possibly hope for. Because if you're supposed to like withhold your truth to keep the peace with a person, then that's like, what kind of friendship or relationship or connection do you have? Like what is the basis of that connection? What is it? Like, what, you know, like what the fuck? That's not how true connections, or like, yeah, real intimate connections with people are supposed to be. Like you should be able to be entirely yourself, as should the other person. So if there's troubles going on with whomever or with whatever in your life, then yeah, you either step up, show up entirely as you are, show your truth in a compassionate and productive way, and in that way kind of like instigate change, initiate change, or you let it go. And if you have not been able to let the situation go, then it's probably the case that this is something that you're not meant to let go of yet, that there's some growth and some expression and some uncovering and some undoing of the layers within yourself to be done still, before you can let this go, if you're truly meant to let this go. Yeah, there's definitely something about peeling back the layers and getting at the core of the truth of who you are, what you want to say, where you want to go. this is definitely, yeah, you're definitely someone who is kind of like in the process of learning who you are, learning what you want, learning about your boundaries. Like, what are barriers and what are boundaries? Because there's also a difference between barriers and boundaries. Like, you can, for instance, a boundary is, I don't like to be yelled at because that makes me feel unsafe, and I don't like when people yell at me. That's a boundary. Like, that's just something that I will not take, and that's something that I'm not okay with. A barrier that you have in front of your own self that kind of like limits yourself and keeps yourself like a kind of like muted, wiped out version of yourself. Like, a barrier is, I'm afraid of conflict, I'm afraid of being yelled at, therefore I will keep silent, therefore I will not say anything. That's a barrier that is not really helpful for you, because you're keeping yourself stuck. You're not being authentic to yourself. You're not aligned with yourself, and that's why you're in discomfort. Once you align with yourself, the discomfort falls away. So this is definitely something that you might be learning, like, directly and indirectly from your bestie. Your bestie's higher self, from connecting with this bestie of yours, is getting in alignment with yourself. And when you're in discomfort, when there's so much turmoil, it doesn't necessarily have to be reflective of the outside of your life, of your practical life, of the things that are happening in your life, but it's more a reflection of your inside turmoil, your inside. And your outside reality will always match your inner reality. So like, when there is some breaking through needing to be done within yourself because you are unaligned within yourself, like, your outside reality will likely reflect that back to you. So that might show up with either like discontent or like chaos, like in your work or in your study or in your like dissatisfaction with how your day-to-day life is going. Or this might also show up in like discomfort and turmoil. Oh my god, I can talk. Turmoil with the person, like discomfort and chaos in a connection. This is all that I was getting for now, and I feel like it's time to move on to the next part, which has been really exciting. What we're going to do is we are going to take some oracles. For top row will be love. So whatever it is that your bestie's higher self wants to let you know about love, that could be, that's probably just like your love life at this point. So like, yeah, advice for your love life at this stage in life. And then the second row will indicate what your bestie's higher self wants you to know about life, like the wisdom that they have to share about life. So we'll pull oracles, and I have 3 decks, and then we will clarify with the tarot. So what is it that pile 3's bestie's higher self wants to highlight to pile 3 about love, please? About their love life. What is advice from the bestie's higher self for pile 3 about their love life? We have efficiency. We're definitely gonna need clarifiers for that. Oh no, okay, I'm getting it. I get it already. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something about you overthinking yourself into oblivion, that you're kind of like making it overly complicated for yourself. Very, very active mind. Very, very much in your brain, and your bestie might be a little bit more heart-centered indeed, or like more in touch with their higher self perhaps. Whereas you might be more in touch with the idea of how you should show up. Like, am I doing it good enough? And you might be really hard to yourself, kind of like being like, yeah, I whatever I choose, it will be catastrophic. Like, you might be definitely catastrophizing things in your brain. But what else does pile 3's bestie's higher self? Wow, this came through in the other pile as well. So happiness. I'm aware that being happy means I am on the right path. And on the bottom of the deck, we have, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I feel like that's relevant, so I'm just going to keep it there. And what else? What else? This deck is so freaking satisfying to shuffle. What is pile 3's bestie's higher self wanting to talk about to pile 3 about their love life right now? What advice do they have for pile 3's love life at this time? Hey, that is a lot of cards. Oh, okay. We have sign. If you're looking for a sign, here it is. What the hell? We also had this card in another pile. That is so interesting. So, and on the bottom of the deck, we have blue moon, you're ready, make your masterpiece. Yes, jump from that freaking threshold. Everything's gonna be okay. That's kind of like what I just heard. take that leap of faith. Everything is going to be okay. So now for clarifiers with the tarot. I'm seeing the Empress card in my head, but you know, she will show up if she needs to. What about this efficiency for Pile 3's love life? We have the King of Cups. That is so interesting. What about this happiness for Pile 3's love life, please? Ooh, what about this happiness, please? I just heard you deserve to be happy. Dolphins might be an insignificant animal. Yeah, lots of water for sure. Oh, and butterflies. We have butterflies here. That makes a lot of sense. So what about this happiness for Pile 3's love life right now? What is it that Pile 3's bestie herself wants to tell? Pile 3, you have the Page of Pentacles. This is so cool. What about this sign, please, and this blue moon for Pile 3's love life at this time, please? Insight from their bestie's higher self for Pile 3's love life. We have the Nine of Cups, and this is so interesting because we have the Hierophant as well, and the Knight of Cups also wanted to say hi. Should I? Okay, I feel called to pull the rest immediately, so we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna do that. What else? What kind of... Am I keeping the deck upside down? No, it's fine. I will not take reversals for this deck anyways. What about life in general for Pile 3? We have moderation. Some temperance vibes there. Oh, here. Yeah, I guess the bottom of the deck is going to change, but that's fine. What other insight does Pile 3's bestie's higher self have for Pile 3? We have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Damn! Today my English is not exactly, it's not great, but that's fine. You guys might speak with each other like a language that is not your first language, or some of you, like one of you might have had to learn the other person's like mother tongue. Doesn't have to be, but there might be definitely some like language limitations or difficulties or things that you had to adjust. So okay, well, all right, that was fast. So it's okay to change the direction. Oh my God, yes, holy scheiss. And we have Diana be one with nature. I'm gonna put that to the side, but let's clarify with the tarot. Let me see if everything is, yeah, perfect. So much green. Yeah, definitely your bestie is very in tune with their heart, and they really want you to tune into your heart and kind of like your sacral chakra and like your emotions as well. Because we have like we have again earth and water coming through so far. That is so interesting. What about this moderation for Pile 3, please? Insight from the Three of Wands. And what about health, please, for Pile 3 from their... Oh, damn. Two of Cups in reverse? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What about this whack... Did I take these? Okay, I have to take these. Okay, so... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Okay, so, wow. Oh, my God. This is so cool. Oh, the Star and the Ten of Pentacles. Your bestie might be someone, Page of Swords and King of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Your bestie might be someone who is, who either, like, if you're studying, they might be done studying. If you're wanting to start your own business, they might be someone who already has their own business. If you're, like, wanting to have, like, a family and, like, get married or something, they might be, like, very stable in that sense, because there's something about them being like, if I made it, you can make it too, but you don't have to make it exactly in my way. You have to do it in your way. You have to follow your intuition and your North Star, and you have to follow your direction. But okay, like, first things first. So when it comes to your love life, they really want you to simplify. They really, really want you to simplify, and they also want you to focus on your own well-being. This is definitely something, like, these messages are kind of like all, I understand now why this had to come through. Echinacea might be significant if you suffer from like autoimmune diseases or something like that. Why do I have such a weird accent in this pile? This is so weird. I've pronounced so many words with like very not me accents. Is someone like Spanish or Mexican or like French or something? This is so weird. Anyways, I'm getting Arizona for some reason. I mean, that's whatever. It's fine. Where were we? Yeah, there's definitely, I understand why all of this had to come out at once, because there's definitely something about perhaps you having experienced like physical symptoms as a result of like the stress and the pressure that you put on yourself when it comes to what you give to others and how you show up to others. Like if you, for instance, if you tend to have not the strongest boundaries, you might struggle with like skin issues or something like that. Or you might, if you struggle with, if you have a very hard, like very blocked, I just heard the word clogged. If you have a very strongly like blocked heart chakra, or like if you tend to keep your heart closed, you might experience things like a lot of coughing or like lung problems or something like that. Or like issues breathing, like asthma or something like that. There might be something about like the kidneys, perhaps, if you always had like struggle like with, if you always struggle with like giving and receiving in relationships. Headaches perhaps, or like shoulder or back aches if you have been like carrying responsibilities that aren't yours. I'm not getting necessarily very specifically strongly for everyone here, but that might be something that needed to come through for some of you as a confirmation. With this health coming through here, there's definitely something about you need to prioritize your own mental peace. You need to prioritize feeling good within yourself. Like other people can take care of themselves. Like other people, if you make other people uncomfortable, like then it means that it's not your problem. Like this is not to say like go around and be an asshole to people. Definitely be considerate, be compassionate, whatever. Like maintain the peace. That's a good thing. That's a virtue. But you're not responsible for people's emotions. You're only responsible for how you show up. And same thing for other people. Other people are not responsible for your emotion. They're only responsible for how they treat you. Okay, for their behaviors. Like you're totally free and welcome. Perhaps that's something that you're learning, to hold people accountable for their behaviors without like blaming them for it. And you're also needing to take accountability for your own emotions without kind of like putting the pressure on other people to like change their behaviors so that you can feel comfortable. If someone is not making you feeling comfortable, you can either address the situation and see if any positive change can come out of it, or if they literally just keep doing the same thing over and over and not changing anything, then it's up to you to be like, okay, so what do I do with this situation? Because I'm uncomfortable, so what do I do with this? Something that you might be learning or desiring to learn, I'm getting from your bestie, is emotional stability. Kind of like, do I need to pull a clarifier for that? What about that King of Cups and efficiency for pile 3's love life from their bestie's higher self? What about that King of Cups and efficiency, please? What specifically about that King of Cups, please? I just heard like you owe it to yourself and you deserve to feel good. And you can do it. And it's not going to feel like this forever. Okay, so one card flipped over. And that, oh yeah, oh my god, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. So it might be definitely the case for some of you. So we have the Six of Swords and the Hanged Man. Hanged Man is Jupiter, is it Pisces? That's Pisces. I'm not entirely sure. King of Cups. I'm so sorry. It's Scorpio energy. The star is Aquarius. Holy crap, what is going on? I'm suddenly having, yeah, there's something about physical symptoms. So if you have been struggling with like sudden flare-ups of like physical symptoms, oh, that's the Virgo energy, isn't it? It doesn't have to be, but there's something about you needing to literally, didn't I say it at the beginning, like listen to your body? Listen to your body, listen to your heart. Like there's literally something about your body is speaking to you. And you might be wanting to like seek out like holistic practitioners. if you have been thinking about seeing like a holistic practitioner or something like that, or like acupuncture or like whatever, like regression therapy or something like that, this is your sign to go for it and to not hold yourself back. That might definitely be something that some of you guys have been kind of like holding yourselves back with. Kind of like keeping yourself on the edge of like, oh, I kind of want to go to like a chiropractor or to like go to like a physiotherapist or something, but be like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should save money or whatever. Okay, what is your priority? Is it like saving that $60 or whatever the price is, or is it like having this experience and seeing if it actually brings you some type of benefit and then feeling good in your body? What is the value here? And the value is, the answer is actually very strongly coming through. It's like it's your happiness, it's you feeling good, it's you being satisfied, it's you having emotional mental peace, it's you having a sense of satisfaction and being well and safe inside of your body. It's almost like you're making things so much harder for yourself, and I'm not getting necessarily the ways in which you might be doing this, and that's because also like the focus is on stop being so hard on yourself. Like, you don't have to figure out all the ways in which you're making it hard on yourself. Just focus on simplicity and on simplifying, and on like the Six of Swords is all about moving towards calm waters, moving towards peace. And the Hangman is also often talks about also about like changing perspective on things. So like there's definitely something about like reevaluate your values, like reconsider your values. Like, what is it that matters here? Go for what truly matters, and you can only find the answers within your heart. You cannot find them with your brain. Like, this is like, there's no swords or like mental cards here except for the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, to me, it's always like the Eight of Cups, to me, when it comes to cards about like moving on and bringing about change. The Six of Cups, or like the Eight of Cups, to me is always like, okay, you're seeing that something is not working for you, and you're seeing that you need to walk away from certain things, and you're seeing that something doesn't resonate anymore. Therefore, you walk away. Like, you make that deliberate choice of like, okay, this isn't working anymore. This isn't serving me anymore. This is not making me happy anymore. And the thing is, after that comes the Nine of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment within yourself. When it comes to the Six of Swords, which has similar energies as like moving on from something and moving away from something, to me that is always more of a like, things have gotten so chaotic and so destructive that I have to, like, I'm kind of like forced to, and it's either keep suffering or indeed move on. So it's not necessarily like an equally deliberate or like not necessarily like a full-hearted choice that you made, but it's kind of like you have to for your own well-being, because you cannot literally you literally cannot keep going as you have been going. And it's often due to mental distress, because this is a Swords card, which is also all to do with like mentality and the mind and reason and mental chatter and all that fun stuff. Prioritize yourself. And this is a very simple message coming through with this health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And the Two of Cups in reverse. Like, forget about giving to others for a second. Forget about making, like, if you need to like choose a specific path to follow in terms of like career, to make your parents happy, or to make your partner happy, or to like fit in whatever idea that like society or whoever has of you, like expectations from others. Forget about that. You owe it to yourself to go for what it is that you want. It's okay to change the direction. These are such clear messages. So you might definitely be like on the brink. Like, you might have heard these things over and over and over again. This reading is just like a reiteration of what you already have heard before. And that's just because you might just need that extra little bit, itty bitty type of extra repetition before you can truly settle within these energies. Because it's okay to change the direction. And there's that look, happy. It doesn't matter. Just choose something that makes you happy. You know, obviously, okay, we do have, all roads lead to Rome. And when it doesn't lead to Rome, you will soon find out. And then you will go back and choose another road that actually does lead to Rome. I don't know why I said it that way, but this is just to say, it's okay to change direction. It's okay to choose to disrupt a certain situation and to disrupt the balance, to choose what is best for you. As there's definitely something very, very strongly coming through about you need to choose yourself and you need to take care of your own happiness. And with the Star and the Ten of Pentacles coming out, it's literally like your passion and your what truly lights you up, and what satisfies you and what fulfills you and what truly keeps you going. Because the Star comes after the Tower. Like, the Tower is all about disruption and destruction and things falling apart and chaos and turmoil, which is kind of indeed, like, as I said in the beginning, the energy that you might have been dwelling in these times. The Star kind of like is resilient. Like, the Star kind of like picks herself up, picks the pieces of herself up and picks the pieces up with which she wants to continue going. She leaves the rest behind, like the unstable foundation. It can all stay behind. She just chooses what it is that she wants to take with her based on what truly works and what truly is fulfilling and what truly is healing. And I'm hearing, like, you know how we can say that, like, crying and cleansing and feeling your negative emotions and just like owning up to your negative emotions, like the more painful things, like feeling your pain and crying is healing. But you know what else is healing? Laughter, happiness, lightness, doing things that are silly, like frolicking, like looking at a flower and then being like, oh my God, it's so pretty. Like, that's also healing. And perhaps you, again, there's this feeling like you've been making things so hard for yourself. I'm getting something about lavender. You might, yeah, lavender is really, really calming for the nervous system. I noticed that I haven't really talked about this moderation card. Yeah, but there's something that you have been wanting, that you have been waiting for, that perhaps you have been kind of like going half-half towards, because indeed, like, you might have not completely decided to like go 100% in this specific direction because you almost feel guilty for choosing your own pleasure and your own well-being. It's not even about pleasure, it's about your well-being and your literal mental and physical health. Can I have a clarifier about this Three of Wands and this moderation for pile 3? We have the High Priestess. That is so interesting. So Pisces and Virgo energy coming through again. And the bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. That is so interesting. So I just heard what comes around goes around. And honestly, whatever you resist persists. So whatever dream you have, or whatever desire or wish you have, or urge, or whatever things that you have the need to express, whatever it is that you're suppressing, it's not going to go anywhere. Like, it's just going to stay there. And it's probably just going to like boil beneath the surface until you let it out. And it's going to boil beneath the surface and express itself in different ways. Like, things that need to be expressed, you can either channel them through your words and through your actions and just like acting in a way that is aligned with that thing that needs to be expressed, or you can suppress it and it will come out in all types of different ways, such as physical ailments, such as nightmares, such as whatever it is, such as like lashing out to people. Yeah, and the High Priestess is all about like following your intuition, and that's definitely something very strongly that has been coming through for this pile. Is like, you really need to narrow it down and kind of like focus your energy on yourself and not think about what other people want you to do or what other people will like or not like, what other people will feel comfortable with or not comfortable. Because you're like, it's kind of like you're avoiding making other people feel uncomfortable, but you're keeping yourself in a constant state of discomfort, if that makes sense. So messages that are coming through very, very strongly for you, pile 3, from your bestie's higher self, which loves you unconditionally and wants the higher outcome and the best outcome for everyone involved, is tune into your intuition, tune into your heart energy, your heart space, because there's a lot of wisdom there. Like, the heart is the gateway to the soul. You know how they say like, oh, the eyes are the gateway into, no, it's the heart. The heart is your literal gateway into the soul. Like, the heart is the gateway to the 5D. And I'm not going to spend time explaining what that means, because that's an entire topic in itself. But the heart is literally like the bridge between the earthly energies and like the 3D energies, the 3D chakras, and like the higher energies, the higher chakras. It's literally like the bridge, the middle point. Let it out. There's like a village party in my village, so there's music playing outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope not. If you do, well, yeah. There might be something about you needing to go shake it out a little bit. I just heard like let it out, shake it off. Yeah. Don't dwell. Don't overthink yourself into oblivion. Take care of yourself. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to go after the things that make you happy. And if something is not making you happy, then you get to change direction. And please, please, please take care of yourself. Take care of your emotions. Take care of your body. Be gentle. Be nice to your own mind. Be gentle to your own thoughts. And it's all going to be okay. That's also something that is coming through strongly for you, pile 3. But let's see what final advice, what final words your bestie's higher self has for you at this time about all these messages. Then we're going to take 3 from this Moonology deck. What messages do we have? Okay, so we have first quarter moon in Virgo, assess the situation. And this does not mean overthink. This means look at what is happening practically speaking. Like narrow it down into what is happening practically speaking. This is happening. It's making me uncomfortable. Therefore, what do I do with it? What do I want to do with it? And then you act accordingly. Like it doesn't have to be so complicated. I feel like that's one of the main messages. New moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. You might be wanting to get like into meditation or like yoga or something like that. And again, lots of bluish green energy. So there's definitely something about like heart space for sure. And potentially, yeah, is this, what chakra is this? Is this a solar plexus? Might be the solar plexus, not sure. But third eye, throat chakra, those probably need a little bit of stimulation for sure. And we have, yeah, we have the full moon in Leo, go wild. This might definitely be, I'm full moon in Aquarius with Be Real. Yeah, with this go wild, you might be wanting to like go dance or something, go to a party, go just have some fun. And don't be, I'm seeing like someone just like shaking their head and kind of like letting their hair loose. So like don't be afraid of looking like a fool and just do what feels good. Ecstatic dance might be something that you might want to look into if you have it like close by where you live. That's some good stuff. But okay, to close off this reading, I want to take 3 of these. So what do we have for pile 3, please? Closing messages from pile 3's bestie's higher self, please, for pile 3 at this time. So yeah, the camera stopped filming. Luckily, I didn't say that much. But the first 2 cards, and I'm going to pull one more, and then I'm going to close up this reading. The first card coming through was U equals tight ass. Loosen the F up, control freaks don't get laid. And that message basically told me, it's not all that. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. Like, it's okay. Like, loosen up. Like, it's fine. And, like, let go and let God. And let go and simplify. It's not all that. It doesn't have to be that hard. And it's all not that serious. And we also have F and apologize. Seriously, just do it. This might definitely be a message very specifically for those of you who... it's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. You're a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your ish. Yeah, I don't feel like that one needs elaboration. Take that if you feel like that was for you. But with this F and apologize, there's definitely, perhaps if you have been wondering if you should or shouldn't reach out to someone to like clear up the air about something, this is again your sign to go for it. Like you have nothing to lose. If this is already like a connection in which things are not going well, then the only thing that you have to lose is a connection in which things are not going well. Like you're not losing anything if you're losing something that was not making you happy. The only thing that can happen by like reaching out to someone about something uncomfortable is either things change for the best, or you just let this thing go and you get to move on with your life. But let's take one more, please. That's 2. I guess we're just gonna read them real quick. You're being shady. Watch out. Ish could get ugly. Get the F outside. Move your ass. Your body is pissed at you. There again. Move your body. Shake that booty. Take a twerking class. Something like that. But pile 3, Thank you so much for being here. That was all that I was getting for you. I really hope that you got some insight out of this. I really loved reading your cards. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. And I can't talk. As per usual, feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how this resonated, as it means everything to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. Also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, so it really helps with the algorithm. And thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next time.